me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
Our white whale, Sidney Crosby.
Shave his head! Shave his head! Shave his head!
Ryan Whitney, Paul Bissonette, R.A., Mike Grinelli, Spittin Chiclets.
Welcome, everyone. How you guys doing? Episode 572 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast, presented by Pink Whitney. I hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July in Canada Day. Pink Whitney was flowing in Nantucket. We had it just everywhere, all over the pool, the backyard. Nope, kids weren't around it, but the adults were loving it. And I hope other people enjoyed some Pink Whitney on July 4th or Canada Day responsibly with the big bottle, the little nips, the middle bottle. Doesn't really matter, but Pink Whitney represented on this island on our nation's birthday. So I don't know what you guys think, but the only thing I have to say about this show and recapping free agency is the fucking Florida Panthers, for Christ's sake, Keith, there wasn't a way in my mind they were keeping all of them. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I do get it, actually, because how amazing of a place it is to play and what Viola has done there and what Zito has done there. But Christ, that's not fair that they all got to stay. I'm not kidding. They're going to win
even
two
Bill
of the next
Zito's
three.
jamming you up. Like, I mean, what the fuck?
I was waiting. I'm like, all right, Bennett's going back there. Probably Marchand, but I'm not sure. But Ekblad's gone. And no, bing, bang, boom. Suck it, Wit. Suck it, rest of the league. Suck it, Eastern. It doesn't matter. Everyone just suck it. Oh, Giant. What was that wrestler? Suck it. What was his name, Keith?
Triple H.
Triple H, suck it, hockey, because we're all coming back, and it's an absolute joke. That's pretty basically what I have to say to this show.
What was the group? What was the group that used to do the suck it? They used to go. Is it X-Pac was one of them?
X-Pac, yeah. They were NWO, New World Order.
Oh yeah, what an era.
The Wolf Pack yet. But you even saw it at the draft. Like every team's drafting these kids that are 6'5", 6'6", because they know they're gonna have to play the Florida Panthers, who aren't out there chasing bags like guys on your guys' team. Our guys are staying right in South Florida, where it's a beautiful year round, going to the rink in their golf carts. We talked about it, putting that rink downtown where you can drive your golf cart to the rink. It's 2.5 blocks from the ocean. Like, the fact that it wasn't there the entire time, this team would have won a Stanley Cup every year the last 20 years.
And that
All I gotta say,
that sounds
boys,
like a
is like,
joke.
there's a bunch of Panthers fans complaining that Bill Zito hasn't won GM of the year the last 3 years. I wouldn't vote for that fucking guy either. Are you kidding me?
GMs vote on it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I would blackball that motherfucker the first chance I got with the way that he's handling this
He
man.
can get his name engraved on the cup, but I ain't voting for shit for him.
Not only would I not answer his phone calls, I would have his number blocked for any type of trade he's trying to make. Fuck off. I'd block his email, any type of communication. I'd hire a PI against him. That's how much he's bending guys over right now. So just an absolute masterclass. And I would imagine at some point in time, the other GMs stop colluding and actually vote this guy GM of the year based on the work that he's done and his staff too. It's not just one guy, but just an incredible job. I was actually the opposite and was on Yanz's side about it. I thought there was a way that they were going to figure out how to get all three. And it just goes back to the fact that guys want to play there. They got the new practice rink, like you mentioned, the group of guys. Like the one thing that was, I mean, I told the story about Bush going down at the JW and then all of them were in the steam room together right before, I believe it was game 6 or maybe it was game 5, excuse me. After they'd blown the lead the game before. And then just every time they go to dinner on the road, they got 20 guys who they put a reservation in for, and most guys show up. So that is just a tight-knit group that I believe if I had to put my life on the line, I would say they win one more Stanley Cup in the next 3 years, guaranteed.
I would be shocked if they didn't win another cup in the next.
Say 3 and 5, 3 and 5.
And you know what's even crazier is that Bob, after next year, comes off the books at 10, and I would be sure he's going to be taking like a $3 million deal with all these bonuses that all these other guys are getting past the age of 35.
Yeah, who was saying on our group chat they have like $28 million in cap space after next season or something? Like, Yeah, the Bennett one made total sense, and he ends up 8x8. Like, fuck, Biz, you were giving him $10 million. I know Jason Gregor was on you for that, but whatever, 8x8, like more 8.
Hey, Witt's mic's kicking out. I'm not going to insult him or imitate him like he does to me when my mic kicks out, unless you want to give it a rip.
Nah, I'm not good at impressions.
Me neither. Not as good as Witt. Witt's in Nantucket. He's got a $6 million house that Sidney Crosby built, but for whatever reason can't get Wi-Fi.
I wish it was 6, because if it was 6, it'd be worth like 12 now. I'll tell you. Hold on, let me start a new quick.
Do you think Horkoff's stealing your internet? Is that what's going on?
No, I actually don't know what's happening. I don't even know if it's my internet. It just keeps saying the mic's unplugged. I think it's the Panthers. I think it's Zito. I honestly think something's going on with somebody within the Panthers organization. Let's keep torturing that big-eared
Well,
idiot.
he's a spiteful guy, and you went -6 in that one game.
7.
-7 in about 3 games. What was it, 10 years ago? So I think he's still making you pay for it. Any guy who doesn't show up for their organization, he'll ship you to fucking Mars, just like Bezos' old lady. But they got married, by the way. Did you guys see $50 million wedding?
What happened to her? What happened to her face? Like, what is she doing? She was incredible. I saw all these pictures of her back in the day. I think she's had a lot of work done. I don't necessarily agree with. I don't know how we just got here. I mean, maybe it's
because your internet.
Being in Florida, talking about the Panthers, you need the plastic surgery.
The work she's got done, or your internet?
My internet, because she still looks like a wonderful woman. Congratulations on your marriage to Jeff Bezos. But yeah, I guess Florida plastic surgery, and maybe I could probably use a little plastic surgery if we're going to be honest.
It's funny you say that. Is they actually are now offering 50% discount on boob jobs if you re-up your season tickets. So
really?
So we're gonna get Caesar a nice set of tits. He's gonna look great for the new year, and probably what's going to be a 3-peat, right? So Caesar's going to be out of his bust, but where were we right before that, Jans? I think you, like I said, you called it. You knew they were going to bring these guys back, and not only are they the talk of the hockey, but talk of free agency.
Yeah, I and obviously biased too, but just living down there, knowing how fun it is to play, and then these guys are winning. Like there's only such certain amount of teams that can build this type of dynasty where you can have a certain group together and have a chance to win every year. And I think that group has realized that. Like Eki probably would have got 8-9 million on the free agency market. He's making what, 6.1 or 6.2. Like that's a huge hometown discount. Like we talk about Sid and Letang doing it, like those in Malkin doing it for years. Like they're doing it. Obviously they're still getting paid handsomely and they're not missing any meals, but it's one of those things where when you get to go home from the rink and the sun's out, you can go play golf, you can go play tennis, you can get away from the game a little bit. Like it really does. Like you don't really have any bad days. Like Biz, you know how it is. You live in Arizona, the sun's out, like everyone's in a good mood. So I think a lot of that has to do with, living down there. Obviously what they've built, but it's these guys realizing, hey, we stick this together for the next 7-8 years. Like we got a chance to win every single year, and they've tasted it. They've tasted it twice in a row now, and it's like we want to do this more. They're not just satisfied with one. Where some guys might just be like, all right, now I'm gonna go play my hometown team or go to another team, make more money. But these guys have bought in, and it's special to watch. And yeah, I think they're going to be a real issue for the other 31 teams for the next 7-8 years, or however long Barkey and those guys are there.
Let me ask you guys this. When Marchand's deal got announced, he's 37, correct? So it's a 6-year deal. And then I immediately kind of started seeing some tweets like, is this not kind of a scam here? Like, if he's not going to is he going to finish that deal? Like,
he'll
ideally
probably be doing the same shit when he's 43 fucking years old.
That's the thing with him. Who knows? He actually, maybe in his mind, he's like, yeah, I'll still be playing. But is there not an argument that that's some sort of way to circumvent, or as Biz says, circumcise the cap? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And didn't it happen with somebody who signed a deal last year? Gee, look it up. There was somebody who they were already talking about this last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't really want to chirp them anymore because I've already been stuffed in a locker with the state tax stuff, and then now,
Okay.
obviously, if you want to say that they're circumcising the cap by giving them a 6-year deal, but I mean, by years 5 and 6, if there is a buyout, maybe at that point it looks a little shitty. But the fact is, though, is that's going to hurt them on the cap, right? When you buy a guy out at that age, it's going to affect you just the way it affected Minnesota, but. I don't know. I just feel like this guy, he takes his off season very seriously. The way he trains. I mean, I know that he shares a lot of ice with Sid, still doing all those battle drills down below. So I don't know, man. I feel like they're the type of team too. They can kind of just cruise to the regular season now. They don't really care if they win the Atlantic. They don't care if they get the fucking wild card at this point. They're just going to handle business the minute that playoffs hit. The one thing that will go against them and other teams who have done it, I believe 5 of the last 6 years, is the LTIR, which we addressed with Elliot last pod. So they won't be able to throw anybody on LTIR and then make a 1 or 2 significant trades. But I mean, boys, they had $19 million in cap space going into free agency. I believe they locked in those 3 guys just slightly north of that. And then they ended up getting Nosek and the whole 4th line solidified. So currently right now, they're just under $3 million over the cap. There was rumblings that, and even before the rumblings started, you thought like, who was the one guy that might end up getting be a cap casualty? Rodriguez name keeps popping up. I'm sure they're going to do everything they can in order not to lose him because he's like that perfect glue guy who can fit it up and down the lineup. You saw him do it with other teams as well. But ultimately, if he was a cap casualty, who was the one kid, the smaller forward that they had who wasn't even playing in playoffs? Who's this young
Samoskevich.
Samoskevich.
Nasty.
So he's nasty. So if he does end up being a cap casualty, that's the type of guy who they're going to pull up. He'll get a full season under his belt. And then next thing you know, he's going to be the next fucking Sasha Barkov. So
yeah, because Biz, those guys, they get plugged into the lineup and they get to play with Barkey, and we've talked about it at length. Like, you get to play with him, he's going to make you better. Like, he's the type of guy, if you want to hit free agency, go play 1 year with him. You're going to have the best year of your career, and then boom, you can sign a ticket. So anyone they bring in to play with him, they could bring you in to play a couple games to get a couple goals and an assist. But it's
not according to Schaefer Daddy.
Biz, you're right though. It's like, this year, they didn't have home ice for one series to start the series, right? And it's like, we don't need to have home ice advantage. And even with the Bob stuff too, like him getting older, but the way that goalies play nowadays, like if he's giving you 40 games in the regular season, once he's getting closer to 40, it's like, all right, give us your 40 games, and then we're going to ride the shit out of you in playoffs, and we know you're an absolute dog. So I think for them that they're set up real nice for the next few years.
I might do the same thing as him too, Whit. I might get my head shaved. Like he gets it shaved going into the off season to almost like replenish his body in order to prepare for the next journey, which will be next season. And, we got Olympics and everything. So I might go full buzz cut on behalf of Bob.
Okay. You're going to do that. All right.
Full body buzz. I'm going to shave my chest, my beanbag,
Chiclets cup,
my hoop.
I mean, I got to shave your head once. I mean, I've done that. I'll do it again for you. I did it on TNT, like where you work too, shoved you in a locker. Speaking of shoving in a locker, we just interviewed Mathew Schaefer, first overall pick.
He's an O'Doyle from Billy Madison.
O'Doyle rules. This guy. Just check out if you want to see a 17-year-old dummy, the biggest name in hockey sports media, Paul Bissonnette. Just tune in when we drop that interview in a couple minutes. Incredible stuff. Islanders fans, you're going to love this kid. But this is my final thing on the Panthers. This is the one that made me sick, especially when you're talking about Edmonton and McDavid and Leon and Bouchard and then the Nurse deal. Like, they have the Panthers have Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Lundell, Marchand, Seth Jones, Ekblad, and Forsling locked up through 2030. So, I mean, what the fuck? That's it. That's it for me. That's it for my
Should
career.
we just take the next few seasons off and just circle back in a few?
Well, I'm sure there's many fans that are like, enough of the Florida stuff, but like, guys, I don't know what you want us to do. Like, they're running through this league and then somehow signing everyone. Now, there is a lot to be said that they got pretty lucky not lucky in terms of winning anything, but the fact that as the cap goes up and these crazy jumps we're seeing the next 3 years, it was perfect timing for them. And it actually leads into the entire free agency where because the cap went up so much.
No, we lost him again.
Can you guys hear me?
We got you now.
Now we can.
Jesus
got you now.
Christ. This
That's all right,
is
we got you
driving
now.
me crazy. We're keeping this in. I'm going to keeps fucking happening too.
Yeah.
All right, but listen, they kept all three in Florida. Columbus kept Provorov. Besser stayed in Van. Giroux, Tavares. I feel like the cap going up allowed teams to just re-sign guys where you don't see that often.
Yeah, like a lot of the older guys seem to be staying put where maybe, a few years ago, you saw guys like Jumbo Joe move around a little bit. The Patrick Marleau, Pavelski ended up moving on from San Jose, where I feel like a lot of these teams aren't trusting in their veterans. I mean, how many teams are looking back saying, fuck, we probably should have kept Corey Perry as he now moves on to LA, where he's going to do damage, where Holland loves him. And we'll get to the LA Kings and their free agency, but we talked about the big winners, which were the Florida Panthers. Who do you have listed off as some of the other big winners with, dog?
Well, I just had the screen go black again and you cut out. So
Okay.
I'm going to have to hear the question once again.
Just,
and I'm going
the
to
other
lose my
winners.
goddamn mind.
No, that's okay. It's a little adversity we're battling before we go into our off season. Kind of feel like the Edmonton Oilers at this point. We're going fully off the rails. Who do you view as the biggest winners in free agency or even before free agency hit with bringing back guys? Do you have a list of teams we can go through, who they sign and who the big winners are? And let's cover the winners and be positive before we throw it to Schaefer, and then we'll go Debbie Downer status on the back end.
Okay. All right. So I think if you're talking on who had a big free agency period, you got to talk about Carolina. Because once the Marner sweepstakes, ended, and apparently from everything I've read, like I think a lot of teams were hoping and kind of wishing that was their guy, that was their plan. And, only one team gets him, but Ehlers was the next option. So I understand that there's people who've kind of dogged Carolina with Ehlers because he's very similar to what they have. But dude, I mean, they got to score more. And yes, Biz, you mentioned last week, like he hasn't scored in the playoffs, but it's just another offensive weapon that they bring in. And Keandre Miller, that trade, first off, I kind of think it's a good trade for both teams. I mean, like Brent Burns moves on. Shout out Brent Burns, signs a 1-year deal with Colorado.
Oh, we lost Witt again. Signed a 1-year deal. Brent Burns.
He's gonna overreact.
I think he's gonna put his laptop over his knee pretty soon.
And the worst part is he was on the ice with me today for my camp.
What?
Oh, he's back. What's up, Whitty?
This is unbelievable. This is fucking.
I know.
You cut out at Brent Burns.
This is unfucking believable, guys. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do here. I'm gonna have a fucking breakdown right now. I'm not even joking around.
No,
This
the
is
fans are
fucking
probably loving it.
This is fucking infuriating to me. Nice house, fucking joke. I could be a fucking joke. So Carolina, okay, they added a speedy scoring winger, right? Okay, I like it. Keandre Miller is the one where. Keith, I don't know what you think about him. I kind of was like, I like his game, great skater, but is there more to be had here? But apparently he's going to fit in perfect with Carolina. Like that's like the one-on-ones, being able to skate and close that much, that was their guy. So to me, I'm looking at that like if Carolina wanted him that bad, was willing to give up a first, a second, and Scott Morrow, I believe, who's pretty nice in college. I saw him at UMass. I mean, I think it works for both sides on that trade.
Yeah, I look at it almost like a Brady Shea type of defender, like because he defends with his feet. He skates really well, and in that system, they play the man-on-man in the defensive zone where they're not like Keandre Miller's a big dude. He can play physical if he needs to, but the way they defend is with their feet, and I think he's gonna be great there. He's a guy that can play a lot of minutes. Playing in New York, like there's ups and downs there. No matter who you are, it's a big market. It's the Rangers, like. I think he's going to go to Carolina, and you're going to see him get to where that Brady Shea was when Brady was in Carolina. Like he was playing his best hockey because he was just able to trust his skate and go out there, defend with his feet, move the puck up to those forwards, and he's a guy. He's got offensive skill. He was a forward at one point, so like there's opportunities for him to jump up in the play and help out. And you could see his game, his offensive numbers take over here, where in New York it was like, okay, is he a stay-at-home guy? Isn't he offensive guy? So I think you're going to get the best of both worlds with him in that system, and he could be a monster.
I couldn't agree more, Jans. Just as far as like how raw and young he is, and he had that big offensive season with the Rangers. I believe it was like 40, like close to 45 points. I want to say 43. And sometimes when you have a big explosion like that, you now all of a sudden think you're going to be this offensive defenseman where the points are going to come easier. Where I feel like he's in that middle tier and will fit in perfectly playing that 20 minutes, and probably I would assume like a number 3 role, like a 2 or 3 role, where under a system and that type of structure, I just think he's going to flourish. And, you know, with where things were at in New York, and I don't want to be too critical of like, because Laviolette's like an old school coach. He's been around forever. I just don't know how much from a development standpoint he can help out, where I feel like Rod and his staff are a little bit better at maybe doing that because they're more used to it, because they have to have a lot more homegrown talent. And I think that he's going to get back to where we saw him defensively. And then with that confidence, he's going to then flourish back to those types of offensive numbers. Like I see a world where he's putting up 40 to 45 points every year and being a great shutdown defenseman and not being put on an island. And I feel like with Fox having a down year too, and then them getting rid of Trouba, it kind of put him in a bit of a difficult spot with people, especially New York fans, wanting to see that constant growth where it's not always going to be an uphill trajectory, right? So a great move for Carolina. Their fans were barking at me all season long about how much cap space they had to work with. And obviously the Marner sweepstakes didn't work out. But unlike when they had the Rottenen deal, they had a backup plan this time. And it was to get Ehlers. And, you know, all the way up until next year's playoffs, people are probably going to say the same thing. Like, yeah, let's see what he's going to be able to do come playoff time, because you're ultimately going to have to go off and play the Florida Panthers, I'm assuming, where, yes, Ehlers is a bit undersized, but talk about a guy who fits perfectly in that system as well, where he skates, helps out in a lot of areas of the game, and it alleviates a little pressure off of that top 6. So a great player. And my only criticism, as Whit mentioned, was you're looking for a scoring winger. Yes, he has done so at an unreal clip rate in the regular season, kind of like those Marner playoff numbers as far as goals are concerned. Right? I think he's got 14 goals in his full playoff career, which is just under 100 playoff games. So not exactly at the clip rate you're seeing in the regular season, but we'll see if that changes in Carolina. But ultimately, 7 years at that number, that's a pretty fair number for a guy who's going to bring that much to your lineup.
It's also, too, and we talk about it with the pressures and not having as much pressure. I mean, I know these guys are in the NHL, they put pressure on themselves, but, you know, him being in Winnipeg as opposed to Carolina, like a playoff series where you're not seeing your name in the news every day of not scoring, and, you know, that can get to anyone. And I think for him, like, he could have a nice, you know, just kind of go through the season, score his 30, 40, 50 goals, and then, you know, be a beast in the playoffs with just a little bit less pressure. And then he's got they have guys that can score. They have guys that can make offensive plays. It's just finding that gear in the playoffs and hopefully not playing Florida.
Okay. So I was off, actually. My bad. So it says here he's played 45 playoff games in his career, and he's got 9 playoff goals. Is that right?
When you said a little under 100, I'm like, holy shit, Ehlers has that many playoff
I must
games?
have been looking at somebody else before the pod, and I had a glitch out. But yeah, I mean, 9 goals in 45 games. That's not exactly what he's got. 225 regular season goals, so just a little bit different.
The other move Carolina made was signing Stankoven to an 8-year extension, $6 million a year. And I want to know your opinion. I was kind of like, what is he signing that for? Like, dude, $48 million. This kid is set for life. Like, I get it, but that's a bargain. Dude, in 4 years, he's making $6 million. And that kid, I mean, he's young. He's going to keep getting better. I think he's going to be realistically like a 30-goal scorer every year, if not popping off for 40 a year. So now it's all about, I guess, just taking the bag and taking the security. looking at him signing that, and I understand it, but I was like, wow, he's given up a lot of money in his future with that deal. Great for the Canes, and like I said, great for him, but I was surprised at that. I'll say that, Biz.
Yeah, I feel like it puts a little less pressure on you, because he's a middle six winger, right? So if he ends up being a third line forward, then all of a
I
sudden,
see him as more than that. I think he's more than that.
I see him as a second line winger for sure, and I see this being a bargain contract by the end of it. But it's just kind of how they operate there. I mean, look at the deal that Jarvis signed. Like, that's going to be a steal in 3-4 years too, where he left some money on the table. So he seems like the type of guy that's just salt of the earth, down to earth kid, where that's going to be enough money for him and his family for generations and generations. So just to be able to get that over the hump, like that was a big offseason that the Carolina Hurricanes needed in order to put a Band-Aid on the way that they got spanked in the conference finals again by Florida.
Yeah, the last 2 years, right? You see it, all these teams, and I mean, everything's a copycat league, but every team, it seems like they're trying to build their teams just to beat Florida. And I don't know, like Stankovic is not the biggest guy. Ehlers isn't the biggest guy. Getting Keandre Miller helps. You got to beef up the back end. But yeah, I mean, they're always an issue playing against them. It's one of the worst buildings to play in. It's hard to play in. Obviously with Rod at the helm too, they're always going to have a good team and have the winning ways. But it's good to see that they're not just happy making the playoffs and making it past the round or two. Like they're trying to get better. They want to go out there and win a cup, and they're doing everything that they can.
So between that signing, getting Keandre Miller, and the fact that you're going to get now Nikishin for a full season, like this is a big, young, bolstered back end, and then you got the wheels up front. So,
but there is one issue, and when you talk about like trying to beat Florida, and especially like in the Eastern Conference, at least, like their second line center is Kotkaniemi. Like that's brutal. That is not it. And I think it was Tree Living. There was a quote for Brad Tree Living, like, I think there's 27 teams looking for a second line center. Like it's the position in the league that so many people need help with. And you see a lot of guys here, legit first line centers. And then you see a lot of teams, even good teams that at second line center, you're then looking at Florida and you're like, how would we ever beat them? So,
and that goes back to why I think that there was probably 5 to 7 teams that were lined up to pay Bennett $10 million. Yeah. I'm going to stick to that. I'm not changing on that one. Whit, that was a great pick for the second, probably the second biggest winner, or maybe there's a few tied at second biggest winners. Who are some other teams you had as the big dogs on free agency?
Well, Biz, before we get to Mitch Marner in Vegas, I'm actually in a new location as well in my house. I don't know if this is going to work. I might have a mental breakdown if it doesn't, but I've moved and so has your boy. A true relationship is now over, Biz. Mitch Marner, the newest member of the Golden Knights, 8 years, $12 million a year. I've never seen that guy look that happy. He was putting on the jersey. He had the band and the cheerleaders. I said, wow, that's pure joy. He looked great. He looked tanned up.
Unbelievable. He was a man missile. I mean, he had a nice tan going. I didn't know he had the forearm tat. He kind of looked like hockey's version of David Beckham. I mean, and like you said, Whit, like I couldn't be happier for the guy just simply based on how happy he looked. He just had his first kid. His family was there. Paul was there. I guess his phone was going off during the press conference too, so making his appearance first come, first serve. But before we get to more of my opinion on it, I got to know one thing in the Whitney household. Is Squanto sticking around with the Toronto Maple Leafs, or is Squanto taking his talents to Vegas with Mitchie Marner? Have you talked to him? How does he feel about it?
I think Squanto's at Keith's house right now, I believe, or he was. And I asked him, he's just like, I love Matthews. And he's just all about Matthews and the Leafs, I guess. So you didn't lose him. He hasn't done anything for you. They still are the Leafs. Still just real true laughing stocks of the league, right? Like an original 6 legendary franchise that never won shit. But you still have Squanto. You still have him. So I wouldn't worry. You don't have Marner anymore.
Prize. That's a comp.
Now you
And it was a bit of a love-hate between me and Mitch in a sense of like, I love everything he brought in the regular season, obviously. I just felt like sometimes come playoff times, I felt like there was a little bit more there. And there's a few moments that do stand out where when Pasternak scored the OT goal in Game 7 to end the Leafs season, where he came off the bench and Marner let him get by. There was no type of hold up or anything, so he was able to streak in. Some people are saying, well, you can't interfere with him. Well, you don't think the Florida Panthers are running a little interference for their defenseman there, so it gives them a little bit more time, like just that type of maybe defensive awareness. And you go back to Game 3 where they pretty much had this series locked up 3-1 in that second period, up 2-0. That shift after they give up that 3-2 goal, there was just some little things that left you a little bit frustrated as a fan. But ultimately, like, you have to view his time in Toronto as successful. I mean, he had fucking 300-point seasons, like 299 in the 100-point season this year. And everything he did in the community, the way that he showed up to the rink, the way that he dealt with the media, like being a Toronto kid, being drafted into that type of environment with all the pressure in the world on you, I thought he passed with flying colors. And it sucks to see him go. It's not going to be easy to replace him, although I think they did an excellent job with the signings that they had. And of course, getting Waugh back in that sign and trade. But I'll just go back to saying, man, like, these guys are people. I'm so happy that he's able to get out of the noise and he can bring his talent somewhere where he can go to the grocery store with his family and not get bugged and just worry about playing ice hockey when he gets to the rink. And kind of like Jans touched on when discussing the Florida Panthers, like, you're able to have a life and a lifestyle outside of hockey and keep a lot more of your money because of no state tax. So 8 times 12 is a great number for him. I think that if you view the Rantanen deal as like the exact same thing, I would imagine a lot of people think that Marner, based on what he's proved in playoffs, got overpaid if you're comparing the two. But when you're the biggest sought after free agent, you're going to have a bunch of teams just willing to pay you whatever you want in order to, I bet you fucking Carolina would have paid him 14 fucking million if he really showed type of interest to go there. So good for the Golden Knights. Now, I texted you guys this question. Do you think that it's more probable that he wins a Stanley Cup in Vegas or that he doesn't finish the full 8 years with the Golden Knights? Gary Lawless, he shut down the fact that they're ruthless and they can be gutless, but we always go back to the Marc-Andre Fleury and how quickly they're able to get off of guys that have maybe brought them success from the early days with the Misfits, maybe the Marchessault not bringing him back. But do you guys think that it's more likely he raises a Stanley Cup or that he does not finish the full 8 years in Vegas? You might hit me with he's got a no move clause for those 8 years, but that always doesn't mean that the player's not going to move on.
It's a great question. I got a dog barking in my house now too, but I think he's more likely to win a Stanley Cup there than he is to not finish that contract. I think that team's loaded. Now, they don't have Pietrangelo, which it sounds like he may never play again, right? So, and then Waugh was a big part of a really good fourth line. But, dude, if Eichel re-signs there, which I imagine he does, they got Stone, they got him. And then, who's the GM? I'm just drawing a blank right now.
McCrimmon.
He was saying like it was bullshit. He was pissed off that a lot of people were mentioning that they were going to have to trade. They would trade William Karlsson. Who was the other name ripping around in rumors?
Oh, he doesn't like the Rumor Boys segment.
Hurdle, Barbashevla. He's like, no. Like I think he called Karlsson and Hurdle, and he's like, you're not going anywhere. Like, this is all bullshit. So yeah, I think he's more likely to win a cup there. I mean, who
started that rumor? Did we?
I don't ever remember saying that. I mean, who knows, though? We could have.
Yeah.
For sure, though, that he's more likely to win a Stanley Cup before the Maple Leafs do. I'll tell you that for free. That's free right there. Free 99 biz. Like, he will probably go on and get one. And that would just be so perfect to see him raising the cup and Toronto lose again in the first round or the second round. But I do want to say one thing that I thought was crazy, in that all these Leafs fans were disgusted about his comment during a press conference being introduced to Vegas about how he had been talking to some members of the Golden Knights at the Four Nations. And, like, fans all of a sudden are like, this is bullshit. We got guys, we want to try to win a Stanley Cup. And he's asking what Vegas is like. I cannot tell you how dumb you are and how normal it is for guys to meet and play with other guys mid-season and ask what's it like? Like, what, you're talking about another team that you're listening and you're hearing about experiences, how the teams run, everything. And like Leafs fans are going nuts saying he was already checked out. It's like, buddy, I don't think that had anything to do with him maybe not performing in the playoffs, which he did have a point per game again this year in the playoffs.
I'm going to steal that fucking Golden Knights sword off their fucking mascot and behead him for trading us at Four Nations. He's representing Canada and talking about going to the United States to play hockey when we got a Stanley Cup to win. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think, like Whit said, it's very, very normal for guys to ask around, how is it?
You're a crazy Leafs fan.
Exactly. You see, he went from being happy for him and switched like that as soon as he heard the conversation. No, you're not. Hey, you know who's not happy?
If I saw him, I would give him a hug. I know that I would probably get tasered by his security guard, Rocket, but ultimately, I got to check in with all my sources because I thought maybe there was a chance he was coming back. And technically, I was right. He did re-sign with the Leafs.
True.
It just so happens it was a sign and trade. So,
hey,
that
I thought
sucks.
Vegas, because we all know Vegas is cutthroat. I thought they were going to sign him and then not trade for them, so they'd be over the cap.
That is one bit of tomfoolery I never predicted. We've now lost Whit again for the 17th time. He's probably bringing his dog out that was barking in his backswing.
His whole family's at my house. His entire family.
Could you call Squanto in the room so I can ask him about this Marner situation?
No, he's in the pool, dude. He ain't getting out of there.
Just ask him. Say, can you go out and just say, hey, Squanto, Biz wants to know, what do you think about the Marner move? Because I don't trust what Whit said.
Yeah, Whit didn't even. I bet Whit tells him like the Leafs aren't even in the league anymore.
Well, then
he's backstabbing you somehow, and you need Squanto. As much as he's saying Squanto hasn't brought you anything, he's the guy.
Do you think that automatically, like without the pressure of Toronto and kind of having that being held against him, for a while now, I feel like that's something that's being used against him. So ultimately, maybe it becomes something that's in the back of your head when you're getting suited up and ready for the postseason. Do you think that he will have more playoff success in Vegas as a result of not being under that Toronto media fire?
I think Vegas is one of those towns, like one of those teams that kind of you play bigger than you are. You're not, going into a game like, all right, I got to skill it up. Like you're gonna get dragged in the muck. Like even look at Jack Eichel's game, the way that it's progressed. He's become this two-way player that's amazing. Where in Buffalo, obviously he was amazing, but he was more of like just an offensive guy. So I feel like Vegas is one of those teams like Florida that. Guys get there and they play bigger than they are. They do things that they haven't been doing. So I think his game's going to be unbelievable, and everyone in Toronto is going to be like, "Oh my God, what are we missing here? Like we really just let this guy walk, and then not trading him." Yeah, that's true. He did resign, which is a good guy move.
That's right. That's right.
Does he know? What if?
I like your point though, and I feel that him getting 1 year under Chief was huge, not only for like his development as a player, like even more so on the defensive side of the puck where he's already good at in the regular season, but Cassidy, he's known to be hard on his players and very demanding on both sides of the puck. So you're going to be going to a similar coach that have a lot of the same philosophies, and I would say even more so than Chief. He's a little bit more hot and cold and wears his heart more on his sleeve on the bench. Like Cassidy is not shy. If you're not playing good, doesn't matter who the fuck you are. Like he'll give you the eye roll and the motherfucker on the bench when the camera's on him. Like he doesn't give a shit. So,
was Was Cassidy on the Four Nations coaching staff?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I think it was him, Talkett, Cooper, DeBoer,
Maurice? Had to have been Maurice.
I think he was in there. I mean, G could probably hit us up in the chat. Knowing
Was Cassidy on the Four Nations coaching staff?
Yeah, because remember he watched Theodore break his wrist, and we were saying like he's probably like, oh fuck, this tournament stinks.
Yeah, but then he was talking to Marnsey, and he was like, "Hey, come on over."
Tampering.
I'm going after Pinky
But,
in the brain.
hey, you look at when he set up that game-winning goal, right? Like that was him who set it up, right?
Yeah, he set up the one to McDavid. He pulled
He
it off
got
the
in
wall.
on the forecheck. He's playing like he played a little bit of a different style there. Like he's got it in him to, have that dog in him. So I think it's going to be a player that's really, really missed in Toronto.
Like what kind? Like Chihuahua? Or are we talking Rottweiler? What are we talking with the dog here?
Buddy,
like a feisty-
being out of Toronto, he's going to light it up. He's going to absolutely
Well, he
light
lit it up in Toronto, too.
No, playoffs too. He's going to light it up.
Conn Smythe.
The pressure in Toronto. You guys are done. You guys will never do anything. It's just too much. It's too ridiculous. Grinelli's saying it's Phil Kessel 2.0. He's just going to be just raking in the cups. And I wouldn't be
but
I wouldn't be surprised.
Phil wasn't in Toronto, was he?
But Phil Kessel went to, you mean Pittsburgh?
He was in Toronto.
Yes, he was, but in Pittsburgh, he wasn't being paid like the second or third guy. He was being paid. Phil Kessel at that time was probably like the fourth, fifth guy. And that's, in my opinion, why he had so much success.
Okay, dude, it doesn't matter about money, Biz. It does, but he has Eichel. He's got Stone. Like, he doesn't have to be the guy still. But he's just an insane piece as like the third piece. And I mean, I don't know about you guys. If you could take right now Eichel or Matthews, who are you taking? I'm taking Eichel.
Yeah, I think that you just have to kind of delegate to the guy who's won a cup. And
I know
and
it's not even just that though.
He should have won the Conn Smythe. Marchessault got it because of his clutch goal scoring, but I mean, you talk 200-foot game and what he did throughout that run. I think a lot of people were surprised that it wasn't Eichel and it was Marchessault. I think that just based on that run and seeing somebody prove it, especially at his cap hit, which I believe he only makes $10 million right now. He has 1 year left at $10 million. So as of right now, I believe Eichel can sign an extension.
Yeah, so McDavid, Eichel, and Kaprizov could have signed by now. So obviously for the Oilers fans, and we can move over to Edmonton in what is kind of like, I'd say, a
Everybody's jumping ship.
rattling couple weeks here, right? Like you get drummed in the finals.
Well, wait, we said we were going to wait to talk about the losers of free agency till after the interview. I think that if we're talking winners,
I don't think they're one of the big.
Well, I know that the
losers.
Leafs are higher up in the win column for signings and free agency than the fucking Edmonton Oilers are. When you're paying the fucking new core four, whatever it is, over 50%, they're the new core four. Everybody loved that comment from me, by the way. I don't think we've ever got.
Who's everybody? All the Leafs fans?
No, I think that we've never gotten more fucking engagement on a clip in our entire existence of the fucking podcast. So I would.
What
leave
about
it
when
up to
RA
public.
was scratching his butt in Buffalo? That was a lot of engagement on that one. Biz, let me tell you something. Like I am kind of with like I'm not loving it right now. When McDavid resigns, dude, I'm fine. That's it. Until he resigns, there's worry, little bit of panic. Once he resigns, we're fine. Because it's different. Leon and McDavid, if they're a part of my core four, buddy, they literally take shits on your old core four and then just swipe them away. Like, and then make somebody else clean up the shit too. Like, I don't care if you're calling us the core four if Leon and McDavid are two of the core four. Because that is so much different than anything you have. And you know it. You know it. We're talking playoff success and proving it. Now, the Bouchard contract. All right. Do we not want to go to Edmonton yet?
No, we'll go there now since we're in the weeds.
Okay.
We're in the weeds. Now, let me ask you one thing before you get
ask
to
me anything
Bouchard.
you want, Biz.
One thing before Bouchard. Now,
What type of internet do you have?
we're going to get you Starlink. We're going to send fucking Elon over to your place. Are you on the worried or worried meter? Where are you with the McDavid signing? Like, are you more on the worried or worried?
I know I say the word incorrect, but I don't know which one the correct enunciation or my enunciation would be more or less.
Worried is like you're really worried. Worried, you're like, I'm a little worried.
And the first one is how I say it that's incorrect, right?
Yeah, well, you say it with an A.
So I'm worried.
You're just worried. Okay, you're worried.
I'm not worried.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
I
just had to clarify.
If he doesn't come back, is it the end of the franchise? Some may say yes. The Bouchard contract, like, people are all over that one too. Third in the league in giveaways. Like, bro, he has the puck a lot. He's going to give it away. Keith, you're a defenseman. Biz, I know, is down on that deal. Biz is down on that deal. It's like, that's what they get paid. Dobson got 9.5. He's better than Dobson. He got $1 million more per year. And according to Elliott, it was all based on the fact that they were going to offer sheet him. Carolina was going to. So then they find that out. Yeah, and then they were going to offer sheet him, so they had to pay him. And
now
then
you have visitors?
I got visitors now.
Who's
and then
there?
My dad running through, grabbing a jacket. It's
ED.
90
Ask
degrees
him,
out.
ask him what he thinks of the
Dad,
Bouchard
you want to come
deal.
on?
Yeah.
ED.
Come here. What's your question for him?
What's he think of the Bouchard deal?
Oh no, his
Now
internet
we
went
lost him.
big.
Now the
Dan.
fucking internet's down again. God damn it. We can't win today, can we?
Dude, this is just like
This
the
is
Oilers
happening.
in
The whole
free
show's been
agency.
ruined because I have no internet. That's unbelievable timing.
BDS. There he is.
Unbelievable timing right there that the internet cuts out.
What do you make of Witt's internet? What's going on with the internet in the house?
I'm telling you, Pink Whitney sales are down. So
We were using the funding from the sales in Canada to supply the internet in the Whitney household, so it's not working out. What do you make of the Oilers offseason so far, and what do you make of the Evan Bouchard contract?
Didn't even know what he signed for.
what did he sign for? It came out today.
10.5 for 4 years.
He deserves it. If Donald Nurse gets that type of money, then yes, he definitely deserves that money.
And I'm not loyal to the Oil. Both Whitneys sitting here are loyal to the Oil biz.
But I'm a Bruins fan first and foremost.
Oh, hey, and he's a huge. Why don't you tell us what you think of the Bruins?
I love the players, and the management is ridiculous.
So we're going PG version. Yeah, you can elaborate.
I can yeah, right. I will elaborate that. Oh man,
Let it
Okay.
loose, Dan.
they had all right. 1975, they bought the team for $12 million. They have won Stanley Cup. They had one time they had 4 lines and they won the Stanley Cup, and that was not the current GM. That was Peter Chiarelli. They got the job done. Since then, in the Stanley Cup, they've been to 5 total finals, and they haven't won them. And they never had 4 lines. And once Chiarelli has left, they have a guy there now. Not a fan. Not a fan. Liked him as a player. President, not a fan as a management guy. Liked him as a player.
People do say, though, if Chiarelli wouldn't have ended up in Edmonton, they would have also won another Stanley Cup. So you were loyal to the Oil with that guy.
Can I ask you a question, Piz? I was just wondering, how can a guy who never played for the squad talk about his team and the love he has for them? What is that all about?
Well,
Or a
I
boat.
did.
Should I say a boat?
I did
boot.
technically play for them. I was. They put a waiver claim in for me.
No,
but
did you skate under the Toronto umbrella at all?
no,
Forget not
no,
getting picked up
I
in the
was
waivers.
just- I
Forget
was
some
just-
team snatched you because they wanted you so badly. Did you ever put on a Maple Leaf jersey?
No,
Nope.
I was cock blocked by the Arizona Coyotes.
Okay,
the
so you didn't.
Phoenix-
You answered my question. Thank you. I have to go because I have a coat.
Listen to these dogs. Listen to Big Dan stuffing you. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, this is a wild show.
Piz, I love
So-
you, man.
So
Keith,
it's
you're the
it's
best.
funny.
Sonk.
Is he getting?
Sonk.
Are you getting your ammo from him about criticizing me about not playing for the Leafs? Therefore, I can't root for him.
He's an avid listener.
No, you talk about the Leafs like you were a member of the Leafs. But listen,
I
maybe,
am. I'm a fucking ambassador.
dude, the Oilers, Connor Brown losing him sucks. I'm not going to pay him what he got from Jersey. Arvidsson, kind of love that move. Get rid of him. Apparently, Elliott, like it was the article was saying that what's it? Jesus Christ, I'm drawing a blank. Bowman went to all the guys and was like, "Hey, what are you thinking here about no trades?" He went to Nurse. Nurse is like, "I'm not waiving my no trade." So the fact that they're trying to think of moving him, I like that. But until he's off the books, I mean, that's a horrible contract, man. I don't know what do you want me to say. Now, if McDavid leaves, it's done. It's over. Like, honest to God, if he ends up whether it's halfway through this year, after next year, like, what would they do?
Would you, if Connor does leave and he lets them know and they're able to get a return for him, would you then go to Draisaitl and just say, hey, like, because imagine the haul you can get for both guys and just maybe start fresh, maybe even.
No, but you'd have to get like a Celebrini. It would have to be and I'm not saying San Jose, right? I'm saying like a player that is going to be a superstar, right? Like how you're going to lose the trade no matter what if it's not something like a 19-year-old first overall pick that's coming. But then what team would do that, right? Because if they were that bad to have that high of a pick, they wouldn't be ready to win anyway, so he wouldn't go there. So that's the thing. Like who would even who like you know how many different moves would have to be made around the league for him to go somewhere else?
That'd be like a 4-way trade or something. Now, we have spent a lot of time on Edmonton. Can we mention a few other big winners before we throw it off to Schaefer?
Who's a big winner for you?
Well, I don't want to go from
because there's a lot of big losers this year. That's my point.
There's not
is
many big winners
on this year. I don't know how many teams got that much better. Honestly, like.
Well, I mean, people are going to be pulling out their fucking hair or punching their steering wheel. I thought the Leafs did an excellent job of bringing.
No, I agree.
I thought they bring in JT back for that discount. Credit to him for setting the tone. Then the next domino falls with Nye signing, which I thought that there was no fucking way they were getting him in under 9 or under 8, excuse me. And then Roy in that trade, the sign-in trade.
That's a huge piece.
Yeah, and it was funny to hear that. I thought I heard rumblings about the 4-year deal for Marner, and then in the press conference, what's his name now? I can't fucking think of it. McCrimmon said that it was always 8 years. So having that leverage, like we talked about with Elliott, and the fact that that's pretty much the only time you ever do a sign-in trade is when you want that extra year. So yeah, that was a huge return. And then Michelli, who. I know you're losing Marner, but I've watched him play with the Coyotes. He's an exceptional playmaker off the rush. He hits those little pockets. Yes, he's a little bit undersized and doesn't have any type of playoff experience, but I am very excited to see what he can do in that position with Matthews off the hop. So you talk about, how are we going to replace Marner's 100 points? Well, you don't do it with one individual. You do it with a collective effort, and that was the one question you had last podcast. Well, between Waugh and Michelli, you do that. And as your father, the genius, just talked about, you need 4 lines. You need to snap the money around, and you need to have all systems go. So for me, the only real thing that is probably a question mark is who's your true second line center, as 27 other teams in the league need one. They still got a little bit of money to play with, and they got a little bit of a situation to address. But all things considered, I thought it was a great offseason so far for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I thought they did an excellent, excellent job, leaving a little bit of room for error and to plug a hole in as the season progresses, yet still bringing back a strong foundation where we know they're going to finish top 3 in the Atlantic. They're finishing top 3 in the Atlantic all day long with their fucking eyes closed. Yes, they are.
I'm pretty confident in that. Can you look up? I don't ever remember when the rights are traded for a player before July 1st so that team can sign him before July 1st and give him the 8th year. Exactly what happened with Marner in Vegas. I don't ever remember anything other than draft picks going back. Like it being Nicholas Waugh, that's amazing. Like, dude, so
they did need to shed salary was one thing, but with Petro going on LTIR, which we'll get to in a little bit. Like that's just devastating. That's a huge loss for them. Like one of the best, like to me, if you to me, maybe even a little bit like Ekblad. It would be like Florida losing Ekblad, just a nasty big player, stick on puck, like physical, a piece of shit to play against, and has an upside offensively to his game. So I don't know to answer your question with. I don't know.
It's just it was nice. It was nice to get an actual player for a guy you were losing anyways, and not a third round pick or something like that's a nice move. You know what team actually looking up here that I do like their offseason so far is Utah. Utah has like a pretty sick buzz around them. I think they come up with a new nickname. They got the jerseys. They're redoing the arena over the summer. I think over the next 3 summers, Ryan Smith told us. But, dude, Nate Schmidt was money. And, yes, it was Florida's system. But, dude, you give him a 3-year deal. And then was it Brandon Tanev went there as well? Like, along with, like, getting Peterka, not having to trade the 4th overall pick in the draft, it seems like they are on the rise. Like, that is a team that is exciting to watch. Like, Clayton Keller keeps getting better. So, Utah's one. I mean, I hate to say it about Pasha, the Devils, I kind of like what they're doing because even though I said I wouldn't want what? Go ahead.
No, I said that Jake Allen signing.
I know.
That was, in my opinion, as far as AAV, even more shocking than the one in Carolina with Stankoven. I feel like he took over the net a little bit last year at 1.8. Why don't we get our delusional Devils insider to come on? But we got to run the disclaimer. Run the fucking disclaimer, please.
Warning, the following statements are about to be made by a deranged Devils fan. The views expressed are his and his only. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt because, remember, he is a deranged Devils fan.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
Buddy, you're buzzing right now. Like, I know you love what's happening in Jersey. I saw you on a date on Instagram, so everything's good in your world.
He was at Stampede with his girl. He's doing all the girlfriend
holding hands.
stuff.
They were doing a
Brings
pose
the
with
girl
a
to
bull.
Stampede.
Yeah, they rode the bull at the bar together. Like they ended up. Like, I think
face
he
to
came
face
during it.
Are you done
face
with?
To face.
Are you done?
Well, I got no internet. I'm done. Oh, I'm completely done. I'm losing.
He was
my mind.
docking her while riding the bull.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get back on track here. I wouldn't say that like I love what the Devils have done thus far because I still think their biggest moves have yet to come. But I really think that like Fitzy's sort of done what needed to be done. Like he brought back Allen on, like you said, like the AAV on that deal is ridiculous. Like Allen played, a great chunk of games when Markstrom got hurt. I think he was like the 3rd or 4th best goalie in the league in terms of under the hood stats. So to bring him back, like I heard like he had offers for $4 or $5 million per year. So to bring him back for that low AAVs is great business. I think like the retooling of the bottom 6, like Connor Brown, I know what you said you don't like the deal, but I think that's the exact kind of player the Devils need.
But I love the player.
Yeah,
you think he turned down $4 or $5 million a year to stay in Jersey for 1.8?
He loves the Sopranos.
Well, it could have been a 2-year deal though. And
they obviously weren't 5-year deals.
Do like Carlos Bakery a lot or something?
I think he sees a path to winning or at least going deep, and maybe those teams that offered 4 or 5 were just shithole teams, So, anywho, I think Connor Brown, speed, versatile player. Plays a relatively physical brand of hockey. The bottom 6 was a complete black hole, so I think that was nice. I love the Dadonov signing. I think low risk. That's a guy that can play up and down the lineup. Jans, I know you mentioned you love his game. Nice scoring touch. The Devils need more scoring touch, whether it's on Jack's wing or in the bottom 6. So great ad. But the reason I'm not ready to say that, I love their offseason is because they got to get rid of Palat. That's $6 million. There's a lot of rumors that Dougie Hamilton's name's in trade rumors. They still need a top 6 winger. Bottom 3C. So I still think there's some major moves coming for Fitzy. I think they need a 3C top 6 winger. How they get there, I think ultimately we'll have to see Palat get, traded out. But I think the work for them is just beginning. So I'm not ready to kind of give a grade for their offseason quite yet.
I mean, 3 years ago when Palat signed there, you were like, this guy's he's coming from Tampa. He's going to get us to where we want to be. He's going to bring the wind and touch. And now you want the man to get bought out?
I did say all that, and I still think he's, I think he's a really good piece in the sense of what he brings, like winning battles and obviously in the room, but the guy's just lost a step. He's been he played a hard game his whole career, and he's just not worth $6 million.
I think injuries have crushed. It was almost a contract at the time. You might think, this might come, back and bite them a little bit. but it's just happened a little quicker than you maybe imagined. But he's been injured a lot. Like
he's been injured a lot, as has the whole team. I think if the team had been healthier the last 2 years, that's like 2 extra cup runs he would have contributed to, and overall the deal would have looked better than, or at least deeper playoff runs. I mean, because they missed last year. This year they were so banged up they won 1 game. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think Palat was overall a net benefit, but I don't think they'll have a problem finding a team, like an Anaheim or a San Jose to bring in, or Chicago even, bring in that veteran leadership.
Who do you view the powerhouses in the Metro? Carolina's at the top now. Where do you view them finishing? Second or third the Metro next season?
Number 2 right now. If they do make some big swings and get a legitimate top 6 winger and a third line center, I could see them finishing on top of Carolina. But right now,
Washington was a fluke this year.
Yeah, Washington, as much as I love their team, they were on a PDO bender. They were a fluke. They were not as good as they showed, definitely.
What's a PDO?
PDO is a combination.
Under the hood.
Shooting percentage combined with save percentage. Same thing with the Canucks the year prior on a PDO bender. Just unsustainable. Every shot's going in and you're getting every save. Just historically, those numbers are not sustainable. They always kind of come down to the median. So
I don't know. That's what they said about us in Arizona, Jans, and we went 3 years in a row. And then every year they had us ranked 14th or 15th in the Western Conference. We made playoffs all of those years. And the last year, the third year, that's when we went to the conference final. So you could shove that PDO right up your 5-hole, my friend.
Pasha, I know you're happy with the Devils. You're not in love with the offseason, but I'd like to hear your opinion on the Rangers, because not even you can say it's been a disaster for them. They had a hell of a deal getting what they did for Keandre Miller. The Will Cooley contract, that was money. I thought bringing him back, that's a legit move. Taylor Radish, I think the Rangers are figuring it out a little bit, Pasha, and you know it, don't you?
I think all those moves you mentioned are solid moves. I think Drury's done some tidy business, but
Gavrikov, I didn't even mention Gavrikov.
Oh yeah,
I think Gavrikov's a nice ad. But listen, that's a team that needs a lot more than just a few sort of solid moves. Like I give all those moves kind of like a B plus. But this team needs a lot more than a few kind of B plus moves. But yes, I will say compared to the usual moves that Drury makes, good moves. And I think I said it on Game Notes. I don't know what Drury has on Pat Verbeek to get him to be taking contracts like Trouba and Kreider and getting extra assets for it instead of having to pay to get those off the books. But that's tidy work to kind of get rid of those
you think
guys.
He's got dirt on him?
I mean, he must. I don't know why Verbeek's just throwing him all these bones, taking on these bad contracts.
He did hire Cronin.
There you go, Illuminati.
You guys are the ones who said that he shouldn't be there.
Pasha.
We're getting blamed now.
Do you think
I didn't even know who the guy was until I saw his blood pressure on the bench.
Now that the guys don't have to do testing for training camp, do you think that hurts or helps Jack Hughes? Because the whole talk you were saying earlier is he needs to get in the gym, he needs to be working out. But do you think that it's going to be more ice time for him instead of
he needs to hang out with Joey Swoll?
I think that's irrelevant. I think Fitzy made it very clear in his presser that, hey, we need more out of Jack in terms of putting on muscle. I think he said that publicly to try light a fire under his ass. And I actually just saw a photo of Hughes. Someone retweeted on Instagram of him just the other day in the summer, and he's looking like he's put on
Everybody
some
looks more jacked with a fucking tan. Mitch Marner.
Why do you get a filter and all of a sudden,
Jack's filter? He's putting on a Jack.
Jack might have a sick new filter on the newest iPhone that only he has, that you can add a little definition to it.
Fucking Marner looked like C-bomb at the fucking Vegas press conference, for crying out loud.
But to answer your question, Ant, I don't think it changes. I think Jack knows he's got a bulk, whether or not there's testing or not.
All right. Hey, I'll tell you, you could say right now, no matter what, the Devils are getting second in the Metro. Okay. I think the jury, we'll see what happens there. But a team who's also done some work quickly is the New York Islanders, guys. I love the Drouin signing, right? They bring him over. They get Schaefer in the first round. They get Eklund in the first round. The other defenseman, I can't think of his, Atchison maybe, first round. It's been a very solid, quick moving off season for Mathew Darsh. And with that, I think it's time to talk to Mathew Schaefer. This kid, I mean, he's kind of like a cartoon character. Like, he's a 17-year-old that just literally dummied Biz for 50 minutes coming up. So check this out. Biz, do you have any final words before people
I just got a text from Jeff Krzakis, a guy I used to play junior hockey with in Owen Sound. this guy would get the worst lace bite. He had the graph skates.
Oh,
He had
dude.
his ankles were like the size of my knees for how bad they were. But he just sent me a photo, and he's going to the Coldplay concert with Schaefer, Schaefer Daddy. And
That's why he was all
he-
because this guy probably made fun of you his whole career.
Oh yeah, he
goes.
goes, "How was Schaefer today? Just headed to Coldplay concert with him." I go, "Absolute legend." He sends me a picture. I go, "I just got carved for 40 minutes during the interview." It was.
Right.
He might have a Netflix special by the time this one comes out. But just talk about a kid. Like I said the same thing about Celebrini, even Misa. Like these kids are like beyond their years now, and just I felt like I was talking to a 30-year-old grown up. Is
Right.
the sense that I got. And even though he only played half a season, you know exactly why the Islanders picked him first overall. If I had him in that meeting, if this was a meeting to draft him, I'd be taking him first overall, and he put me in a locker just like the Florida Panthers did, and majority of fan bases out there in the NHL after my Leafs got dummied. So great interview. Thanks to G for setting this one up, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And this kid's going to be an absolute stud. Guys, let's talk about Rose Sparks, a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. Rose Sparks dissolves under your tongue, meaning they hit your bloodstream faster than pills, so you can get ready for the action quicker. Once the medication dissolves, they work in about 15 minutes on average, giving you the boost you need for thicker, longer erections and helping you last longer for more fun for both of you. Plus, Rose Sparks stay active in your system for up to 36 hours. That means you can be ready to go round after round after round, or even in the morning. And there's no awkward in-person doctor visits. Ro can connect you with medical providers 100% online. And if prescribed, your treatment ships right to your door. If prescribed also, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at ro.co/chiclets to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/chiclets for $15 off your first order. Rose Sparks to the rescue. Swing.
We are pleased, very pleased to be joined right now by the most recent, that's right, Keith, #1 overall selection in the NHL draft, the newest member of the New York Islanders, Mathew Schaefer. What is going on, bud?
Not much. I'm excited to do this with you boys. I saw you guys just did Misa and stuff, so that was pretty funny. Biz was, same old Biz, so excited to do this, boys. Thanks for having me.
I met him in the tunnel down there in Florida when they brought the 4 top dogs in. And I think you were the only one who didn't chirp my sunburn. So, of course, we wanted to get you on.
I said they covered it up a bit because I was like, Biz, that's a lot of makeup, right? And you're like, hey, I was on the beach all day today. Not moving, just laying down.
A little different than the Arizona sun with the moisture. So it got me pretty good, buddy. But I'm sure your last few weeks here have been a whirlwind. How was it though, getting to experience that Stanley Cup final and getting to see that action live? And I mean, how fast those guys are and how well built they are.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I've only seen Toronto because back at home, Biz, I know you're a big Toronto guy. But yeah, this is the first time. Obviously I've been to Buffalo too, close by, but Florida's another world out there. It's sweet. It's electric there. Like the fans love it. The boys were flying out there that night. There was a couple scrums, but I mean, they were a solid team. I mean, we had breakfast with Marshy in the morning. So we met all the guys on Florida, and then we met Connor and all them at Edmonton. So it was pretty sweet. And just to see like their mindset in the morning, like they're all smiling, they're joking around, they're so loose. And then obviously when game 10 comes, they're pretty dialed in. So it's pretty cool to see.
Hey, him talking about Florida like this, Zito might be making a trade here in a couple days. He'll be coming down.
This
Come
is the
on
Panthers
down,
guy,
buddy.
Schaefer. Don't listen to him.
I'm not even allowed anymore. I'm an Islander now. So
Not a boy.
Islanders for life. So
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I knew you made it when I saw. Was it like summer Long Island bars that just had your jersey hanging this past weekend? I'm like, oh shit, this kid's doing it.
the fans are awesome. We had a scrimmage, we had some practices, and the fans were coming out all the time. So I got to meet all of them. They're amazing. I mean, I'd step on the ice and they're all cheering for me. And I remember in the scrimmage, I got hit and I fell, and all the fans started booing. the guy who hit me. So no, it's sweet. Like the fans are awesome. That was my first time being on Long Island. So I've been to New York City before, but Long Island's sweet. I want to go golfing there. I heard all the golf courses and stuff are pretty sweet there in the Hamptons. So
we're gonna have to get Frankie Borelli to take you out. Have you been to Borelli's yet?
He'll stalk you.
I haven't.
Frankie will have him in his basement, like tying him up.
Yeah. It's the perfect pregame meal if you want heartburn and eating Tums in between periods. Yeah. Right. Unbelievable pizza. I want to say the pizza maker has been there for 120 years. I think he's 160 years old.
He sleeps there.
He does it. Yeah. He sleeps in the oven. They obviously don't have it.
He's known for pizza and stuff too, right? The pizza's there, and then the bacon, egg, and cheese. I heard it's all. Well, we had the one day we had pizza. It was nuts. It was good. It was good.
That's really awesome. Good.
How was development camp? I remember being so nervous going out there. Didn't really. I mean, you guys obviously know a little bit more than we do nowadays, but it's like it was so nerve-wracking.
No, it was good. Like the draft is all good, but it's good to be over in a way too, because there's just so much media, and it's good to get on the ice. Obviously, they're picking you because the person and player you are, and the media and all that's really good. But it's good to get on the ice and play the game too, right? So. It was a busy couple of days. We played at Riviera Golf Course. So that was, I saw you guys talking to Meese about that.
You want to hear my story again?
Let's hear
it.
Biz told the top 3 worst story.
It's his go-to, eh? Yeah, we don't got much time. Biz will be here for hours, eh?
Well, a former boxer was standing there and Biz teed off.
Yeah.
That's the cliff notes.
Whoa. I hit the fairway.
For once.
With a world champion boxer watching me. I don't know if you've ever had any celebrities watching you tee off, but it is a bit nerve-wracking.
Hey, first hole jitters are like the worst thing ever. You come up, you hit in the range, you're getting fired up. First hole, I was the first guy up, so we're golfing, and they go, on deck, Mathew, Schaefer. I go, oh shit. They go, oh no, what are we gonna do here, boys? So then I go up, and I'm like, hey, I guess I'll take one for the team. I'm doing a couple of practice swings, feeling pretty nice. And then I smoke it, but then it starts going right. And like, it's pretty wide. It's pretty wide on the fairway, but it wasn't as bad. Mises was terrible. He set it far right.
That's why he went second.
Oh, yeah. No.
It was all in that drive. Hey, this guy's the definition of a show HL guy, isn't he? He's got a little show HL in him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I
love it.
Oh.
Actually, we were talking about, I don't know if it was on air. We're talking about the videos the NHL did leading up to the draft. And it was like 10 minutes. Yours, it showed a lot of you with Mark Giordano, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get to know him? Like, most people remember and understand how good that guy was. He won a Norris Trophy and he's like 35. But what was your connection and what have you guys been working on?
Yeah, so I'm working out at Brian Marshall. He's in Mississauga. So, Monahan, Lawton, all those guys work out there, Drysdale. So Mark Giordano used to work out there. And then he promised Marshy that he would be the D coach for the guys. So I'm working with him all summer. It's awesome. Like, everything's there. Obviously, you got all the show guys, and going up against them's pretty like key for me. If obviously I want to be playing next season, so to go up against guys like that, and then have Gio as a D coach. And Gio didn't get drafted in the OHL or NHL, so he knows what it takes and like all the work that he had to put in to get to where he was. I mean, like you said, he won a Norris, but like nothing was given to him, and that's what you need. And like to have a guy like that you can rely on and ask stuff is amazing.
He's a sick puppy, like in the gym too. Yeah. He's probably still chucking the weights around, isn't he?
Oh, 100%. He was. So I was talking to Marshy, like my trainer. He's like, yeah, like when he was in the gym, he was dialed. Like it was him, Monahan, like they're two like just studs in the gym, and they work hard, like the bike and everything. They're athletes, but they're strong.
Yeah.
It must be nice for you guys. I know when we were growing up, me and Whit, there wasn't a ton of guys around the Boston area in the NHL, but we had guys like Mike Greer, Jay Pandolfo, and you see them in the weight room and it's like, wow, this is a job. Like these guys are treating it like a job. So I'm sure, especially for you at such a young age to be around that must be huge.
Yeah, 100%. The day-to-day routine, all the guys are great guys too. They care for you, and, to go on and off the ice with them and, go for breakfast or lunch and just be with them. And it goes a long way. And especially as a young kid, having those guys to rely on, it's pretty cool.
I read that you wanted to emulate your game off of, or you look up to Cale Makar. Obviously, that's kind of the number one guy in the NHL. One thing that's been talked about a lot is your skating ability. Now, what did you do growing up differently? Were you able to get access to like unreal power skating coaches? Like, what type of work did you put in to get your stride and your skating to where it is?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. So at my high school that I went to here in Stony Creek, there's a sports camp that we do every year, and all the kids when we were younger would go power skating and go like, 6 times a week, like just all on the ice. And my dad was like, no, like I want you to be a kid and go to the sports camp. And I'm with all my buddies, like I want you to be with your buddies. And they're like, the hockey can wait. I mean, you gotta be a kid too. So I wouldn't do much power skating or anything. I'd just be on the rollerblades a lot. I'd be skating like when I'm skating, but honestly, I think just over time from like rollerblading, me and my brother would rollerblade all the time and shoot at my mom and net, and she'd put on the pads. So there, honestly, I think just from over time, like being on the rollers and, going on the ice, you just become better skater and you work on things like, I'm doing mohawks and my rollerblades, like up and down and just doing a lot. So I think over time it's just practice and then just kind of translated. But I didn't do a crazy amount of power skating or anything, probably, similar to every other kid. Couple times a week, not much, but
just ordered my rollerblades. Just got them Amazon, quick delivery.
Biz is gonna have ones with the stopper on the back though.
He's gonna be like, yeah. Oh, no, I'd love to watch that. Biz, do you rollerblade much or no?
No. I might actually. Now I'm going to Vancouver. I'm leaving in a couple of days, so they got the seawall there. I'm going to be fucking rollerblading all summer. I might switch from the ball hockey to the roller division for Chicken Cup.
Hey, I played a house league roller hockey league. It's pretty fun. Like
still right now?
Still?
Yeah. No, so I played a couple of years ago with my buddies, but then it got so busy that there was just no time. But we'd play. It's like every Monday night. It was in Mississauga, and it's fun. Like you go, you put on the rollers, and it's a little tough to stop though. But like the biscuit's like so light, so you just rip it.
Oh yeah,
it's fun. It's
shooting BBs.
Yeah. G's saying on the chat here that I think roller hockey's enormous in Long Island, so that's gonna make the fans like you even more.
Too. Yeah. So I know. I mean, roller was good. I mean, I honestly love to play it because I mean it's still hockey, but it's also like a break too from on the ice. So it was fun. I played with a couple buddies.
So that's actually interesting to hear. Your dad, like there's a lot of kids and. I understand why people do it where they're playing hockey all summer from 7 years old.
Yeah.
But your dad was like, hey, be a kid, play. I'm guessing you played other sports if you're doing the sports camp and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think my dad learned with my brother as well because my brother's 9.5 years older than me and he played in the OHL for 5 years with Niagara. So I think he got to learn through my brother and maybe it was not as hard on, me as my brother. And my brother probably did a little bit more than me. And then my dad's like, you also got to be a kid. And I think he learned through my brother where he could, translate to me and he wasn't as much, like be a kid too. The hockey will come and, there's a lot more to life than just hockey, right? So
you must have been leaning on your brother a lot, even, going to the OHL and growing up. A 9-year difference is a big difference. He was probably almost like an uncle to you.
Yeah. He's like a second dad now. Him and my dad, like before games, always give him the pregame chats. Now my brother's getting in there. He's like, hey, block some shots, do this. Cause he was he's a PK specialist back in the day. So, I remember saying in an interview, I was like, I got to look up to my brother. He taught me how to block some shots and my brother's loving it too. He's like, I give it to him, but no, he's helped me so much. Obviously I used to love going to the OHL games. I used to think I was the man, like with my brother playing on the team and it was pretty cool. And I think even back then I was like, the OHL is the way to go because my brother played there and I looked up to him. So, it was pretty cool to experience him going through it and then me to go through it. So, yeah.
Jans blocked one shot in his NHL career and he almost fist fought a teammate in the parking lot after the game. So that was the last of him and Boyd Gordon.
They pay the goalies very well. So let the goalies. I never asked the goalies to play the power play for me, so I never blocked any shots.
So you never block shots. It's wise. That's wise. I guess you guys weren't, very much friends at all then. Goalies don't like you, no?
No, hated me.
No, me too.
Him and Brizgal, he can't go to Russia. Brizgal has
pull out like the fake block, but like slide too far and be like, oh, you need to eat it. So then he's going in the boards.
This guy knows.
He knows.
Yeah. I hope you didn't say that in your
Don't
meeting.
let your brother hear this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He might have to punch you too.
So, hey, this season it was because I'd heard a lot about you kind of going into the year, right? When you start hearing about who's going to possibly number one, and then all of a sudden, like the injuries mount up, and World Juniors happens. The team looks so different once you got hurt. How tough was that for you? Like, was there worry, like, man, I might not go first overall? Or was it more just this sucks, I'm not playing right now? Because it had to affect you mentally, not just physically.
Yeah, no hockey player doesn't like to watch the game, and like right after it happened. I mean, obviously, I think the
and what happened? Sorry, explain the injury.
Yeah, so at the start of the season, I had mono right away, so I didn't start the season off till I want to say October. So that was kind of the first bump, and then in the season I got to play. I played 17 games in the OHL, and then there was a couple of top prospect games, and then we're at the World Juniors, and I played the first game versus Finland, and then versus Latvia. I went down the ice, got the puck, and I smoked the post. So basically, the go-to question is, did you see the post? And yeah, I saw the post, but what happened was, so I was going pretty fast, and I shot it, and then I followed my rebound, and then I didn't think I was in line with the post. I thought I still had room, and then I turned back, and it was already pretty late because I was going so fast, and then I hit the post, and I didn't know what happened. I didn't really feel much. It was kind of just a big hit right in the post, and then I got off, and obviously some tears, and it wasn't because I was in pain or anything. It was just because I couldn't play. I mean, it's the biggest tournament. You look up to playing in the World Juniors, and it's on home soil too, in front of all the fans. And playing in Game 1 versus Finland was like sick. It was, one of the best games I probably played in, and the fans are going crazy. It's like a sold out NHL barn. It's your first time. That's probably the most fans I played in front. So, I mean, like, to get injured in such a big event and big tournament, I think it's more for the guys too. Is, we went to an army base and we were team bonding. We did so much stuff leading up where it's like, you put so much time and effort and you become a family. And then, to get injured, you want to be there for the guys. And, after that, I had the option if I wanted to go home and get surgery or do it there. And I want to do it there so I could stay with the guys, just to be there. I mean, obviously I was more a lineup guy then. When I was off, I was, giving guys taps on the back and, doing lineups and trying to get them fired up. I mean, we put on a song before we go out, and me and Gibson, we'd like dance out. And so then, like, after that, I'd be in the sling and I'd be dancing out with them. So, yeah, I think just, being able to get the surgery there and then like stay with the guys was a big one for me, because, I would have wanted to go home. It would have been worse. Right. So to be around the guys, I mean, they'd helped me a lot, and, I tried to help in any way possible for them. So
what a guy.
So, what did you think you'd still be going one? Because like you missed that much time. Like, I think they've seen enough and they understood how good you were, but it had to be like, I don't know where I'm going now, right?
Yeah, no, obviously we have such a talented draft class. I mean, a lot of people could have won one for sure, and there really wasn't much I could control. I just enjoy it. I mean, a lot of people get so in their head about it, and it hurts them. I mean, you got to enjoy it. This is the first goal. This is going to be the only time I go through an NHL draft, and to go to the combine and do all these things. It's pretty fun and it's cool. And you look back on that VO2 sucked, but like you talk about it with the guys, like things like that. And at the combine, that was the last time we're gonna see a lot of the guys, because then be together too, because they're all going their ways to teams. So honestly, I think the biggest thing was just enjoying it and being there for my team at the time in Erie. We were in playoffs and all that, and I started to skate, but like I said, I wasn't able to be on the ice, so just be there for them. And then, whatever is meant to happen, would obviously happen down the road, but don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Do you have a nickname? Like a special one the guys give you?
Shave.
Let me guess.
Shave daddy.
Shave, okay. Huh?
No,
That's how you got mono.
Shave nasty.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
Shave nasty was my brother.
Yeah, okay, so he got the nast. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, don't fucking come in with you two guys like, oh, I'm guessing it's Schaefer. Like, maybe he's got a fucking funny one the guys gave him or something
Hey,
like
it's
that.
like you meet a guy, Mike Smith. What's your nickname? Smitty.
Oh,
It should be the makeout monster. Isn't mono
I
the
got
makeout?
three of you chirping me for crying out loud. For fuck's sake.
The makeout monster from mono.
I got an 18-year-old going first overall fucking chirping me. All right, good.
Hey,
Thanks for coming on the pod.
Still. Hey, 17 still busy. You should know that.
Wow, you're still Sholey. Fuck, this guy.
Hey, this guy's all over you.
This guy
busy.
beyond his
busy.
years.
I'm busy. I'm not having a good time. You don't even know my age.
Come on,
Like, come on,
Biz.
this. Like,
Hey, this is Show HL.
I fucking love this
Hey,
kid.
Misa and this guy, Biz. These guys are slinging around with us. I think the game's changing here. You seem comfortable with the microphone.
I mean, you guys make it easy too. Obviously, like we watch all these, and you guys are just yourselves, which is good. It's like a lot of interviews are like super. You know, they get to the point and they're like, oh, like what kind of style do you play? Like things like that. You guys are like super open, and it makes
We're
it a lot
teaching you how to
easier.
block shots. That's what
Exactly. Hey,
How
you
not
teach me to
to.
block shots so I don't get into fights. So
we're doing.
Shape Daddy, I was going to ask you, how do you deal with pressure? Or maybe it doesn't even feel like pressure to you. You go first overall, OHL draft to the Erie Otters, obviously first overall now, playing World Juniors. Like, do you ever feel like it's a lot, or are you just kind of enjoying every day by day?
100%. Yeah. No, obviously enjoy it day by day. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of pressure, but zone it out. I think that's a big one that like guys do. You play the game because you love it. Obviously, it's a job, but you gotta enjoy it as you do it too. Like, playing in the World Juniors, yeah, there could be pressure, but it's like one of the biggest tournaments. It was on home soil. Like, it's fun. And, going out in warm-ups, like all the fans around you, like, this is nuts. Like, you're just excited. You're pumped to play. So, yeah, like obviously there's a lot of pressure, but like you zone it out and you play the game because you love it. So, if there's no fun in the game, then like, why are you playing the game, right? You gotta enjoy it. And it becomes a battle, and like, it comes a long year for sure. And, when you're, hanging out with the guys, going out for dinner, doing a lot of things with the guys, like that's like the things you remember as well.
Did you always play D, or did you move back?
Yeah. Yeah, I was always D because my brother was a defenseman. So then honestly, he wore number 42 because Danny Briere. So there's a little story that I don't know if you guys saw, but my brother picked 48 because Danny Briere, and then I picked it because my brother, and then I was defenseman because my brother was. So I mean, obviously I looked up to my brother quite a bit in that sense. And I mean, the number kept going, and hopefully in New York I can get that too.
Did you get it at Dev Camp?
No, I got 71 at Dev Camp.
Pigeon.
No, 50s are the pigeon numbers, like me and
I got
Biz had.
58.
Yeah.
Biz was 50.
And then Latang took it.
Yeah, you probably took it because you wore it, right?
And then I got 67, an even bigger pigeon number. But I had a great training camp, and I'm like, okay, I end up making the team, and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
We go 2 games over the World Premier games overseas. I get back, trainer goes, pick a new number. I go, I kind of like 67. He's like, no, it looks too much like 87, like Crosby. Pick a new number, pigeon. I was saying, okay. That was it. That's my number story.
How did you
better than my boxing story.
Did you have any conversations with the Islanders about what next year is going to look like for you? You're just getting ready for camp.
Yeah, no, not really yet. Obviously, I think my goal is to play at the end of the summer, and I think that's what they heard from me. Obviously, all they said, just go home. We obviously had training camp. It was pretty busy, so I think the biggest thing is just for me is putting on weight and muscle, because it's a lot bigger and stronger, faster guys, and especially if I want to play next year. I mean, I'll be 18 by the time, but I'm still transforming my body. So there's still a lot of things I need to work on, and we'll figure it out more down the road. I think soon we'll talk about it, but I think the biggest thing was just go home, relax, and enjoy the summer a bit to yourself and get a break. But yeah, I think we'll talk soon.
Are they having you eat more calories? Like, what are you at? Like 35, 4,000 calories a day?
I think they want me on the biz diet where you just like eat whatever.
Oh, gout?
Yeah.
You want to get gout?
Pussy?
No, it's like my trainer and I have a plan. A lot of protein. I mean, I'm like mid to high 180s, which is not bad. And I was like, is there a weight I should be at? He's like, it's more like how you feel like with like a lot of strength. So we'll see what I get up to.
So did you know prior that you were going 1? I think everyone figured it, but like before they're saying number 1 selection, all right, this is me right now.
Yeah, I was hopeful, obviously. And like I said, I had talked with them at the combine, and I went for dinner. And, I was hopeful. I mean, I felt good. So, you didn't know for sure.
Okay.
But I was hopeful that, it would be them, because, obviously they're number 1. And like I said, there's a lot of talented guys in the draft, and, anyone could have went there. And I think everyone can say this too, but you want to be that top guy, obviously. And, you want to be one of the best. So, obviously, number 1 played a part, but like I said, there was really nothing you could control, and you just had to enjoy it.
So you mentioned you're 17. I just looked up September 5th birthday.
Yeah.
Is it September? If it was September 15th, would you be next year's draft?
Yeah, it'd be late. Yeah. 10 days
Holy
away from
shit.
the later draft. Oh.
Wow. So you're actually a younger kid for your birth year in all these years, going 1 overall. Wow.
Yeah.
And G told us or mentioned in the chat, like, I think he read something. You said Brady Martin's like the funniest guy you know, Nashville's pick, 5th overall.
Yeah.
Well, how have you known him for so long? You grew up playing together?
Yeah. So he was in Waterloo. He lives in Waterloo, that area. So I played some like spring tournaments with him. Obviously, Team Canada tournaments we played together. But like when you meet him, like that's what you're getting from him. He's just typical Brady
Just
Martin.
a goon.
Like, oh, he's hilarious. Like you, everyone would be like, oh, is like this how he is all the time? Like, but like you'd be like, oh, is he put on a show for the boys to make everyone laugh? But it's him. Like that's him, and he's a great guy too. Like he's amazing. Like, yeah. Like there's obviously a lot of stories of him just making us just laugh, and it was pretty cool the setup they had for the draft too. They were at the farm. They had a big TV up on the tractor, so that's like Brady Martin. That's where like his draft should have been. I mean, that's a him thing.
So pump up the Preds fans for your boy here. Like, what are they getting in his game? Is he like just a rough farmer?
Oh yeah, he's a power forward that can put the puck in the back of the net. He can lay the body.
Can he
guy
line
off
dance?
ice, too. Oh, of course. He can pull out any tricks.
Can he milk a cow?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He can. Yes, yeah. I haven't been to the farm yet, but I want to go there soon. It's pretty sweet though, I hear. So I think there's like some crazy amount of chickens too he has. So
we should do like a country combine. You gotta like bale hay, a 2-step with the cowboy boots on. Do it all. So he was he a show HL guy too?
Yeah.
I feel like that Ontario had a very strong draft. Like of the 4 guys that were down there in South Florida, there was three OHL guys or 3 Ontario guys. Excuse me.
It was. So yeah, at game 3 was me, Misa, and O'Brien, and then it was Higgins, and then Brady Martin played in the Sioux this year. So he's a great guy though. Like if you guys ever get to meet him, like he'll probably have you laughing. So
we're gonna get overran on this pod by all young bucks.
All the you see nowadays, especially now that you can go from the CHL to college. Like, have you been getting phone calls from these college coaches wanting you to go there next year? And like, how sick is that?
Yeah, I think maybe more to my agent. I haven't heard much. I think my agent definitely got some calls and all that. But like I said, I think my goal is to play in the NHL next season. So until if I have to worry about that, then I'll worry about it. But I think it's more just, getting in the gym on the ice this summer. And then, like I said, whatever is meant to happen will happen. I mean, if I'm ready, then I'll play. If not, then we'll see otherwise. But like I said, I think it's just, keeping the head down.
Schaefer Daddy, if you're interested, my old alma mater, Davenport University, I bet you they could throw a pretty big bag on but it'd probably be more than what you get for signing bonus.
Hay from Brady's farm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm never gonna get over the Schaefer Daddy. I like that biz.
No, I like Schaefer Daddy.
You're learning. Hey, you're learning.
Hey, so tonight you're headed in.
This guy's out of control. With
he's
out of control.
He's got your seat now, Biz. You're gone.
All right, good knowing all you guys.
Biz, we got a new host.
Imagine calling the Islanders. Hey, I'm hanging them up. Gonna join the pod.
They bring Lou back. They bring him back just to grab him. Hey, tonight you're going to Coldplay, you said. You ever seen those guys? Like, your big concert, dude?
No, I'm honestly, so my first concert was last summer, Morgan Wallen. So I'm going to Morgan Wallen on Thursday. I'm going to Miami. So, I mean, I'm seeing Coldplay and then Morgan back to back. So it's pretty sweet. Like, I heard
NHL,
Coldplay.
baby. NHL.
Once you go there, it's like,
they're
like every concert's like all right because like Coldplay's is like so sweet. So,
buddy, I went 2009, I think, at the Garden. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and I like some Coldplay songs, but didn't know much. But dude, you're in for a time.
No, I'm excited. We're going with Jack Ivankovic and his family. So he went to Nashville. So he's a awesome guy, great goalie though. So I'm shooting on him in the summer. So
who are you going to Miami with? His family?
No, I'm going with my girlfriend and her family.
Hey.
Okay, so you got a girl.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, that changes
Attaboy.
things. That
Yeah, stop
changes
laughing.
things. Good
No,
Why
I'm
you,
not
why you,
laughing.
you're doing a creepy smile right now.
No, I'm fucking happy for you,
Biz,
Shane.
Biz
I'm
is going to be
fucking
looking
happy
up
for
her
you.
Instagram.
Oh,
She's only
I thought-
17, Biz. She's
I thought
only
you were
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
cheer me.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna cheer me, Liz.
No, I wasn't. You got your. It seems like you got your shit figured out, man. I'm happy for
Yeah.
you. Christ,
No,
you're
he's
all
gonna be
over.
like, "Do you have any friends?"
What's he
Oh, for
looking away
Christ.
as he's talking? It's like he's like nervous.
Because he's checking his
He is.
Instagram, like Keith said.
I was not. I had my fucking eyes locked on this screen. I could only imagine Grinelli lapping his dick off behind the scenes right now. You guys are torturing me. So when you were drafted to Erie, like, did you get to talk to Connor right away just to kind of know what it was like, the transition going first overall, and also playing for an organization like when I was in the OHL, Erie was very dominant. I believe that they won an OHL championship at that time. So what was your initial interaction and what was your experience like over 2 years?
So I met Connor when we retired his jersey. That was the first time I met him. So it was crazy. So we did the press conference for him, and it was him and all his family talking. And then I get called up on stage to talk about him. And you guys have heard the proud story. So I run out of things to say, and then I look over and I go, "Proud of you." And I go, "What am I doing?" Right?
Buddy, that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh,
Hey,
and
now it makes sense
comedian.
meeting you though. Proud of you,
so-
dude.
I mean, I think he gets it though. Young kid going up talking about, one of the best. And I mean, I run out of things to say, so I pull out the "Proud of you, Connor."
That is so good.
Hey,
He's gonna
Whether
try
you're
to
gonna
walk
post
you
more
this
kid.
year.
Oh,
He's gonna trap
100%. Hey, he's
With
going to
it.
walk me, dance me, score, and then go, "I'm proud of you."
Proud of you, kid.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So that's the first time I met him. He was an amazing guy. Obviously, I broke my collarbone, just before that. So I got to talk to him a bit about that. But he was obviously super busy. Come back here. Everyone loves him there. So got to meet him there. And then we saw him at game 3. So it was pretty cool. He came up, gave me a nice dab up, and got to talk to the guys.
Did
so
you hear the pop? Did you get the pop on the
Oh.
dab up?
it was, I think it was more like a soft, because like I'm going in, I'm just like a nice little soft touch,
Well, no, you're like, "I'm proud of you,
Wow.
son. Proud of you, son." You tapped him on the head.
Yeah,
exactly. This
was
kid's
your-
the funniest kid in the world.
I love him.
Who was your idol growing up besides your brother or uncle, brother?
McDavid looked up to him.
No, I looked up to.
He's the
Nick
Dos
Davis
Equis
for sure.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was also like, I feel like going to Erie was obviously pretty easy. Seeing Connor go through there, it was a no brainer. I mean, seeing a stud like him come out of the organization, it was pretty cool to see. So, yeah, I mean,
What about D
I
though?
would-
Like D in the NHL.
yeah. So obviously, McCarr's the guy I'd more model my game after and take things from his game. And then I think like if a role model, like just in general, like a class act would be like Crosby.
Yeah.
Like I think that everyone can say that too. I mean, I think he's just a classy guy. Like he's, when you meet him, he's just like an amazing guy to be around and an amazing guy to have on your team.
Funny enough, when I met him, I said, "Hey, I'm proud of you, dude. Keep going, keep going." I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
What do you
then
say?
Whit can-
He
Whit-
popped the smile.
Whit can thank him for that house he's sitting in Nantucket.
Yeah, I'm
Sid
trying to
paid
name
for
the
it.
house. Thanks, Sid. My wife won't let me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I just pulled up some of these quotes. Schaefer Daddy, when I drive a car off the lot, its price increases in value. Schaefer Daddy, once a rattlesnake bit me. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the snake finally died.
What are these?
The Chuck
Schaefer
Norris.
Daddy, my feet don't get blisters, but my shoes do.
Went to a Coldplay concert. Schaefer Daddy was singing.
Schaefer
my
Daddy,
God.
I could speak Russian and French. I could French kiss a Russian girl. Off. Schaefer Daddy, I never say something tastes like chicken. Not even chicken. Oh, that one sucked.
You hadn't read that one first. That was Sugar
Yeah.
Ray. Sugar Ray.
Yeah, Schaefer Daddy. Superman has pajamas with my logo. So does Connor, apparently. Oh, the list goes on, but this kid.
Yeah.
Any other hockey questions, boys? What about the skill stuff? Like all these kids, you see them on the ice. They got the fucking pylons, like the triangle. They're going down. Their heads up. It's all this crazy shit on the ice. Obviously, I was never doing it. Are you doing all that stuff on the ice in the summertime?
Not really as much. Like, I think, like I was actually talking to someone about this. So Gio is like all brains, like he has all things like mentally behind like what he's teaching. Where, if you're doing skills and you're stick handling through cones, and I mean, I don't really think you need to know. That's not more game situations where, Gio's teaching game situations. Like, what do you need to do? Like, McDavid's coming down on you. They're looking at your feet. And like, once you cross over, like, you're done because he'd be in you wide with the speed. So like, there's a lot of things that he like teaches me to like, that's more game situations where a lot of people love the skills. I mean, everyone loves a good skills session where you're just ripping pucks and stick handling, right? Or yeah, well, that's given. I mean, I think everyone knows.
They didn't let him on the ice for the skill session.
Yeah, they kicked them all.
He goes in bench presses while we're working on that.
Yeah, he's using all his anger because the coach is like, stop messing up the phones. He's trying to stay handle for them and stuff. This fucking asshole. Yeah.
I love him.
I love him. Well, that's good though. The situational stuff. So so what? Like he'll just be like dumping pucks in, and then you gotta go retrieve. Yeah. That was one thing Gio was unreal at. He was a one-man breakout. When he played with the Owen Sound attack, I was blown away by you put it in his corner. You think you got him dead to rights. Yeah, escape move. He's wheeling around the net and boom, snap the tape.
That's honestly a big thing he does. Like the retrievals he loves, and like. I think there's a lot of things that you do, like where like he's dumping him in, and then like you're doing fakes, like you're doing a lot of things where like honestly in games that's what you're gonna need to do. And for me, like the biggest thing for me that he was saying is like, of course it's like a lot faster game, but you have more time when you're going to pick up a puck, and you got to trust your skating. Where like guys are coming down, like it's more set, like guys are in the right positions a lot more. Of course, in the NHL, it's the best league in the world, right? So. It helps when guys are in the right spots, like forwards, like they're just all in the right spots. It makes your job a little bit easier.
What would be a dream D partner? Like I always loved playing with a stay-at-home D man, a guy that was gonna just stay on the bench, stay on the bench.
Sock. He gave you a sock.
Does he just get to blame you?
Oh my god. Yeah, I'd be like, Biz, what are you doing? Let's go. You might get a Netflix special off of this. Go back to your question. Sorry.
Tires. No, just wondering what kind of player he likes to play with, or it doesn't even matter. Because I know you're a two-way guy; you can do it all.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think like there's both. Like, it's nice to have. Well, if there's another offensive guy, you guys can both work offensively, and like you can go either way. I mean, if you got someone like honestly, I'm super easygoing. Like, if I had to choose, I mean. Like Markar would be pretty nuts to play with. Like you and him cooking up some ozone time. But yeah, I'm super easygoing, and I would play with Biz. I wouldn't mind Biz, honestly.
I'll stay at home for you, buddy.
I'll
stay at home for you.
Hey,
you could set up a party after the.
So I remember seeing the video of you at the Top Prospects game with your curly hair, and there's a dude coming up on you, and you're like,
oh yeah, I fought in that game, right?
Fought, yeah,
double Dion.
That was that, yeah. Oh my god! And you actually did pretty good.
I was MVP of the game. I had a goal on Marc-Andre Fleury. I had a couple nice plays. Corey Perry almost took my wrist off at the end of the game with a slash. I think he'd seen enough of me trying to rush the puck. Yeah. Mind you, he was on my own team. I was gonna ask you. He's like, hand that fucking thing over. Regardless, couple quick one-offs. If you had to pick like one pump-up tune in the locker room before you go out of the tunnel. Which tune are you picking right now to get the boys fired up in the locker room?
This is a tough one. Okay, so I'm a big house music guy, like remixes and all that, so I love that stuff.
Big booty mix?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So there's like that's a tough one, Biz. But I mean, do you guys listen to Frank Walker?
I might know a song based on if I heard it, but no, I don't know.
Come
Frank
on,
Walker.
what are we listening to right now? No Frank Walker.
I listen to
You're going to Coldplay tonight, bro. So I mean, like,
so you listen to Viva La Vida when you come out of the room? I don't think I listen to Viva La Vida.
Hey, wait till you hear "Fix You." Getting ready for your first game against the Canadians, buddy.
Yeah,
true.
All right, let's see Frank Walker. I mean, I'm seeing "I Go Dancing," "Missing You."
Oh, I Go Dancing's a good one. Come on.
Okay.
I Go Dancing.
Hey, isn't that Big Booty Mix the one that we got a shout out in?
Yeah, we got,
You guys got a shout out.
Well, G puts us on all the new school stuff, and he was saying that all the boys in the locker room, they just, like, they don't even need to mix up their own tunes or put a playlist together because they can throw on the Big Booty Mix.
Like, it's gone for like an hour. Like, it's like an hour and a bit. But, like, honestly, like, house music, I'm pretty easy going. Like, do you guys know James Hype?
No.
I Go Dancing's legit. I was just hitting it. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hitting it. It's money.
good. It's good.
money. I'm gonna work
Once
out
you
to
get
that song.
once you get to the beat drop, it's pretty.
Yes,
it's pretty
that's
good.
what I just heard. I fast forwarded.
Let
the
Matt
beat.
Murley.
Good. I
who-
was making sure. I mean, at the start, it's pretty slow. So
Matt Murley, who invented the band AC/DC.
No, he invented house music.
Oh, he did that. Okay, no
Yeah.
shit, that too. Yeah, he's Dead Mouse's manager. He says Thunderstruck is the all-time come-out tune, which I'd probably have to agree with him on that one. My next one-off question was, do the Islanders need to bring back the fisherman jerseys?
yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I wouldn't mind those. Like jerseys are jerseys. I mean, I think it's always nice to have that extra jersey. That's pretty like nice. The fans definitely love them too. I think the fans love them. I actually, when we were at camp, I saw there's a flag, I think, with the logo on it. And there's a couple jerseys. So they're like, because obviously everyone has the new jerseys that, they wear now, but it's nice to see the old ones come back a bit.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it's great chatting with you.
Oh,
and
this has been
and I
awesome.
know there was a lot of discussion of the passing of your mom and what the draft meant with the ribbon for her and her initials, and kind of wanted to keep it loose. But I'll say good for you, the adversity that you've gone through and that the way you've come out on the other side. I'm proud of you. How about that one?
Yeah.
Love that one. With.
And it's amazing to see though, like I said, the resiliency in your family, your dad, and your brother. It's a really cool story. So dude, I can't wait to watch you play.
Yeah, thanks, boys. I appreciate, having me. Maybe not as much being on there with Biz, a little annoying sometimes, but
Biz can caddy for us when we all play golf together.
I love that. Biz would be a good caddy. He can just we'll take the carts. He just carries the bags. We don't even need the carts on the thing. We'll just give it to Biz so he can
I'm
carry
getting
them.
fucking bullied. I have to call the league office right now. But you did mention one thing about when you were playing ball hockey or roller hockey in your driveway that your mother would be in net.
Yeah.
So obviously you had a very special connection and bond with her, and I'm really sorry for your loss, man. But like Whit said,
boys.
you've handled the adversity tremendously, and just you're a legend, bro. You're a legend.
Yeah. It obviously helps too. Like when you guys were saying, do you get you have pressure and things, and do you get stressed out? And I think a lot of people can speak on this. Seeing a loved one go through cancer, and cancer sucks, and to see a loved one go through that, you become a lot stronger, and you're happy. I'm happy that my mom's not suffering anymore, because this year go through that, it's not fun at all. And she's still the happiest person in the family, making jokes and everything, doing everything for us. But this year go through something so scary. You'd rather her just be happy up there and not suffering, where she's always with me in spirit, which helps. So
yeah, it's like, what's a
helps.
hockey game? What's the hockey pressure after what we've been through?
Exactly. It's like, guys get mad over making a mistake, or losing a game, and obviously, you don't want to do that stuff, but there's a lot worse things that can happen. You just gotta build from it, right? So
You're a legend, dude.
Obviously an amazing player, but I think your best quality is your happiness, and obviously you got that from your mom, and keep bringing that light. You talk about all these guys you were teammates with and being proud of them and all that stuff. So it's amazing. I'm rooting for you. I might even watch a couple Islanders games this year, because we're not the biggest Islanders fan on this podcast.
You better be watching some Islander fans. Or
I might jump on your
jersey.
team. You're gonna be my third team, I think, this year.
You have to. No, first team.
But he ain't. If you got to get dealt to the Leafs if that's happening. But no, buddy, we appreciate your time. This has been unbelievable, and yeah, like Ian said, I'll be watching Islanders games for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, perfect,
All
boys.
right,
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I've always wanted to come on this. Everyone was like, "Oh, when you go on the Spittin Chiclets and all that," right? So then I was like, "I'll go soon." The more time I can get away from Biz, the better. But I'll do one time.
I forgot something. I forgot an ad. It's the Roback last question. Use code Chiclets on roback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase to the end of the week. That's CHICLETS on RHOBACK.com. 20% off all polos, shorts, swim trunks, and more with code Chiclets. I don't really have much left, but what about throwing out a name of a draft pick this year that maybe people don't know a lot about that you do, that you could see big things from in the future? Doesn't even have to be a first rounder, like somebody that, this kid's sneaky nice.
I gotta say, Jack Ivankovic. He went to Nashville. He's so I got to shoot on him. I got to play with him at the World Juniors and a lot of Team Canada tournaments, and we've won a lot of tournaments together. And to have a guy at the back of your team, keeping you in games. And we played a Team Ontario tournament. It was double overtime, and I remember me and him were like And goalies and defense have a little bit of chemistry. And, he would like be sending me pucks in OT and he'd be like making some big time stops. And, you need a goalie, that to save you on some, bacon that you kind of leave out. And, if I send a pizza up the middle, I mean, I have a lot of hope that he's going to save it, which helps. So,
all right.
Yeah,
So that's, he was the 58th pick. 58th pick, and actually just 5'11", so undersized for a goalie, but
like Saros.
I like it.
It doesn't matter. He's a stud.
All right.
I feel like all these teams just wanted to draft for size. I mean, it kind of went from like the forwards to the D, then obviously goalies were being 6'4", 6'5". But you see with like Dustin Wolf, Saros, and some of these smaller guys, I feel like there might be a trend going back to, hey, just find the guy who can stop the fucking puck.
Yeah.
My last one, I actually have one more. You're obviously going to get a big signing bonus. What is the one thing that you're going to splurge on? Like, you want to buy a nice vehicle? Why are you smiling like that?
I was going to say something about you, Biz, but I'm not.
What? No, you're saying it's a predictable question?
Oh, he's probably going to say, are you going to ask me for a loan or something? Like,
if it's 6%, I'll take it.
Oh, my nose.
Hard money lender. Oh, a nose job.
He's going to buy you a nose job. This guy is fucking incredible.
Hey, Biz, you know what's funny?
I'm joking. Biz,
I'm joking. What's funny is he reminds me a lot of you when you were this age.
Exactly.
I think you guys have a big-time connection here. Biz might
You'll
try
be
to
playing
become
fourth line left wing in no time, bud. You're going to have a schnout like me. You better save that fucking signing bonus, you little fucking brat.
Hey, Biz, we were best friends in the making, eh?
Yeah, we were. Me and
Hey, be careful. He'll move into your house, dude. He's got no shame.
100%. 100%. Hey, I honestly wouldn't mind that as much as I'm chirping Biz. Biz, you're the man.
Bro, hey, we got to get like the show HL guys are going to start representing again. Too many of these American kids. You'll be playing for Team Canada in no time, buddy.
Canada all the way.
Let's go, baby. We got to stick together because these idiots were going for Team USA.
Penn State would have given this kid $400,000, dude.
We're
this
still
kid's
trying.
made for college.
Hey, money's not
everything.
everything, boys. Hey, Biz, money's not everything.
Yeah. Tell Biz that. He'll do a fucking ad read for anything.
I was doing dick pill commercials last summer for Felix.ca. Fucking.
All right, Schaefer Daddy.
Schaefer Daddy, you're a legend, dude.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much to Schaefer Daddy. I will never call him Mathew Schaefer again. He's the Schaefer Daddy. I imagine he's going to be a nasty player based on how good he is at interviewing. Some people may say, why do you think that those two things go hand in hand? But I can just tell sometimes. We've been doing this for a while. When you're that good with the mic at 17, you got to be that good at hockey or else you wouldn't be confident enough to be that good with the mic. So shout out to Schaefer Daddy, what he's been through, what we're going to get to watch him do. Awesome guy. And with that, I do need to mention Body Armor. Look at G. He's holding the chill. Body Armor, dude. This episode is presented to you by Body Armor. And I'll tell you, I got it right now in a big old, what's it called? Shaker thing. I don't have the bottle on me, but G does. And this summer, everyone can cool off with the Body Armor Chill, a bold new way to hydrate with no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners. Enjoy a new refreshing cooling sensation in 3 impossibly cold flavors: frozen berry, frozen cherry, frozen orange. G goes with the frozen berry constantly. Available for a limited time. Grab yours at 7-Eleven or a store near you. And this episode is brought to you by Body Armor. So shout out Body Armor. And we got to shout out some real kind of pathetic free agency teams, right? Some moves that probably fan bases are sitting around saying, what the hell is going on? G, you could stay on here for a minute because we could talk about the Boston Bruins for a second. We should have brought Big Dan back. He had a winter coat, though. It's 90 degrees.
No, he didn't play for the Bruins, so you can't talk about them like that.
Oh, you could talk about them, but you can't light candles and cry when they lose. I think that's the difference.
Oh,
I think you can talk about the Leafs, but to really live and die with everything and call yourself an ambassador, I don't think he would call himself an ambassador for the Bruins. Or maybe he wouldn't be welcome to either. But the Bruins, G, they gave some term out that was just outlandish. I know Tanner Janot, I think he got 5 years, right?
5 years, correct, at 3.8.
Now, am I missing something that, like, dude, tough as nails, would want him on my team? Like, it's nothing against the player. The 3.8 is almost crazier than the 5. Is that like just to get up the cap number?
I'm not as worried about the 3.8. I'm more worried about the term. I just think why give a guy that you know hasn't proved himself outside of his rookie season 5 years? It just, and especially when like you had that guy in Jeremy Brazeau, you had that guy in Trent Frederick. I just don't understand like why you went out and made this move. I think a majority of what they've done is frustrating. And I think it all kind of goes back to that end of year press conference they had. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it got pretty nasty between like Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, and the reporters and the media. The media
always does.
It always does. But the media this was a little bit more than usual. And the media was pressing them pretty hard on what's the direction of this team. And I remember particularly like Don Sweeney is kind of saying like, hey, like we're about to do a rebuild almost in like layman's terms. And Cam Neely jumps in and says, I just want to be clear here. We are going to compete for a Stanley Cup next season. What? Look at this roster. This is one of the worst rosters in the NHL. They're pissing on us and they're telling us it's raining. They're telling us.
Would you rather hear them say, you know what?
Yeah.
We're in a little bit of a rebuilding phase and you never know, like Gavin McKenna's coming. Get us in that lottery
100%.
somehow. Where maybe they're actually thinking that, but they don't want to say it.
But it's like the anger with which they like replied to the reporters, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is an original 6 franchise in one of the best cities in the NHL. Who wouldn't want to come coach here?" Well, I don't know, Don. Like, I think 3 or 4 coaches probably didn't want to come coach there this offseason. So I think the fact that like the vitriol in their voice, but I would have taken what James. This is crazy to say. That I would have taken what James Dolan did a few years ago when he sent a letter out to the fans, basically saying like, hey, times are going to get tough here. Like we're planning for the future. We have a plan in place here. But to sit there and say, we're going for the Stanley Cup next year and to give us Victor Arvidsson and Tanner Jeannot on a 5-year deal. Like I said, they're pissing on us and they're telling us it's raining. It's a joke. But
yeah,
at the same
not
time,
being able to get anything for taking Arvidsson too, which you knew Edmonton was in a bit of a jam, and that things didn't necessarily. I don't want to say they ended poorly there, but he was a healthy scratch by the end of it. I don't think the fit was, which is as natural. And yeah, I actually don't mind Arvidsson. I feel like he's a little honey badger in some cases. He's got 1 year left on that deal, right? So that's not like you have him long term. I was just shocked by they didn't want to give Frederick term. They didn't want to give him 8 years at the $4 million, whatever he was asking for. So then they move on from him, knowing and already comfortable with him, and then essentially just give him the same deal but 3 less years. So I also don't know if Jeannot has consistent offensive upside like Trent Frederick does. So to lose one and then re-sign Jeannot, I think Jeannot's like at best a third line player, and maybe not even consistently. I think he's a mix between a third and fourth line player.
And they signed so many third and fourth line guys, and you still have Fabian Lysell, former first round pick. You still have Matthew Poitras, who they're not playing bottom 6 minutes. That's not the style of game they play. They're top 6 minutes guys. So when you're filling the roster with guys like Victor Arvidsson and Tanner Jeannot, it's frustrating to no end. But I will say this, I'll leave it with this. This is a good thing for the Bruins. Like in a sense, like they shouldn't have went for it this year. They're awful. They don't have the roster to win a Stanley Cup. They're so far away. So you know what? Build for the future. If you get Gavin McKenna, God forbid if you get Gavin McKenna, if that happens.
No, not God forbid. Not God forbid.
Well, he means instead of losing and being that bad all year.
I'll say this right now. Right now, guarantee, if they are in the bottom 5, they're winning the lottery.
Yeah.
That is the most no-brainer original 6 franchise. Get them going again.
Yeah,
Gary and his good friend Jeremy Jacob.
That is if they are in the bottom 5, they will win the lottery.
We're okay with that, though.
We're okay with that.
Want him,
Coming from the
him
Edmonton guy, that's rich.
Oh, hey, buddy. If you think that I'm going to sit here and deny the fact that they set up McDavid going to Edmonton, you're crazy. You're crazy. I mean, and like Keith just said, I think it's smart. If the league has generational players and the year it comes, there's 5 teams and there's always one that's like an enormous market, give them that player. People may hate hearing that, but dude, you want Gavin McKenna playing in, Chicago could be awful again. San Jose won't get it. But like Boston is a place that you'd want what could
highest
be the
TV
face
ratings.
of the league.
Every playoffs, they have the highest TV rating, so it makes sense.
So,
But gee, what do you think like a guy like Pasta's thinking like during this, like his whole career there? It's like, all right, we're trying to win. We're signing guys at free agency. We're making trades at the deadline. Like, you think he's the type of guy that could be like, hey, see you boys?
100%. And that's my biggest worry. And that's why I was so pleased with the Morgan Geekie deal, because I know David Pastrnak loves playing with Morgan Geekie. So like the fact that they locked him in and they gave him his guy, that's huge. But at the same time, every move they make from here on out, you got to go talk to David Pastrnak. Like I'm not talking like the little tiny bullshit moves, but like you got to get approval from this guy. Like all that matters is keeping David Pastrnak happy. So at the end of this season, when they finish second to last place in the league, he doesn't walk into Don Sweeney's office and say, I'm requesting a trade.
Yeah.
Buddy,
because they've done some of his friends pretty fucking dirty over the past few years.
Pasta makes 11.25. That's like, that is unbelievable when you see some contracts out there.
He had 100 points last year playing
with the Providence Bruins.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he'd look unbelievable in a Leafs jersey.
Yeah, blue and white, baby. Ambassador coming in. I mean, goddamn, 11.25 for Pasta. They're going out and just doing nothing. But I mean, fuck, dude. They probably do need to get pretty bad before they're good. And that means almost like maybe moving McAvoy and Pastrnak for just an absolute haul and being like, it's a complete redo.
It depends on there's a huge free agent class next summer too. They're going to have a ton of money. So I think you get Gavin McKenna.
They always say that though. And then by the time it actually comes, there's nobody left.
I know.
It's true.
Except McDavid.
And Eichel. Hometown kid.
Well, gee, sorry to hear about your team. I think that they're going to be top 10 worst teams in the league next year, guaranteed, if not top 5, like Whit mentioned. And it's going to be a while until you guys hoist Lord Stanley again.
Things are switching in this league, guys. Things are switching around quick. We're going to have some teams buzzing. Now, a team who has lost to the Oilers 4 years in a row in the first round, the LA Kings. I saw a furious fan base after July 1st with the LA Kings. Now, I like Corey Perry, dude, like what this guy's done. I mean, it's incredible. He's his age. He's still playing. He was playing like with McDavid at times though, and Leon, right? Like I don't know what he's gonna have there, but I'm not even mad about that one. But like the rest of them, you look, it was Cody Ceci got 4 times 4.5, which Cody Ceci, like people. I mean, dude, the guy's, he's not a top 4 defenseman, but people make him sound way worse than he is. I really think that. But 4 times 4.5, when you're kind of looking to make a big step after losing in the first round 4 years in a row, they don't love that. Dumoulin, 3 times 4. Joel Armia, 2 times 2.5. And then Anton Forsberg, the goalie, 2 times 2.5. So
I just don't get I don't get the number. Was somebody else offering Cody Ceci more than $4.5 million? I know he's extremely well liked by his teammates. Draisaitl and McDavid loved him. They were, they were upset to see him go. So creating a culture and having a guy like that is important. But as you said, I think on a Stanley Cup winning team, he's a bottom pair defenseman, and you can't be paying. You should be paying bottom pair defensemen the same amount that the Florida Panthers are. They signed Nate Schmidt to under $1 million. They signed Oliver Ekman-Larsson to whatever it was. 1 and change, or just under 2. Like, we're talking about an astronomical number for a guy who's a bottom pair guy. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it, Ken Holland.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. That's where, like, when people like scream that their team doesn't do a ton at free agency, like sometimes it's better to not do something. Like, You're not overpaying guys. You're not signing guys to deals where it's like, oh shit, like we kind of jumped the gun. It's like, all right, we have cap space. We can figure this out as the season goes. Like kind of my thought with Edmonton. Obviously, everything is dependent on McDavid, but it sometimes is like the best move you make is the move you don't make. I might have just butchered that, but
Holland,
you guys know what I'm saying.
Holland's obsessed with I think Army calls them the Redwoods, like the big tall D-men. So with Edmondson, Anderson, and then those two guys, like you have a huge back end, but I don't know, man. Jans, what do you think?
No, I was just thinking, do you think the GMs are giving out these, especially a term, like you said, with CeCe getting the term and like just because they see where the cap's going and it's like, oh shit, we're going to have to get up to this. Like, these guys are at least proven players in the league. They can help us win some games and then also too, I want to ask you what, like did Edmonton offer Corey Perry? Cause like he seemed like such a good fit there.
Yeah, I think I don't think they met what he wanted. I mean, that's kind of like he got 1 year times $2 million. Like Edmonton wouldn't give him $2 million. I mean, they obviously decided like with like Brown and like they decided that they weren't going to pay certain guys, but I would have given Perry $2 million.
I mean, once again with the Oilers, it's all about the turnover. They're not bringing back Perry. They're not bringing back Connor Brown.
Not to mention the turnover biz. Like they brought in Skinner and Arvidsson. Arvidsson was a healthy scratch in the finals and then gets traded, and Skinner is a free agent who hasn't signed anywhere. So it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We're just venting. Any other big losers?
We are venting. The LA that was a tough day for them. I really do think that. I was kind of like, geez, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. No other losers like really stuck. Not many. I mean, I was waiting for some big trades. Like, where are the trades? What's going on with the trades?
I think all the teams trade during the season because then you're only getting a portion of the cap hit. Like you're only paying whatever 30% of it for the end of the year from then on, and then you can kind of do the cap circumcision that way. But the trades, especially during the summertime, seem like they've that they're a lost art.
You know what? You know who? I'm not going to say they're giant like losers because I think they have a good team and I think that they're gonna be good this year. But the Wild, I don't know. Like it was kind of the first year without the shackles of all that payment to Parisi and Suter, and right. I think they probably wanted Brock Nelson. He resigns in Colorado. Probably wanted Besser. He resigns in Vancouver. So they get Tarasenko on a 1-year deal. But I think their fans were maybe thinking a little more would go down. But like I said, like Billy G's like, all right, like we're not going to overpay certain guys. But I bet you they wanted Nelson, and Nelson.
I was surprised by by Besser back in Vancouver. Like he had a pretty good deal on the table, but it was obvious that he wanted term. He ends up getting the 7 years at just under $8 million, where the original offer that we heard was 5 times 8.5. So just clearly wanted more security and knowing where he's going to be. Maybe I don't know if he's married or starting a family, but surprised to see that one. But what was the other one we were just talking about quickly? Oh, Minnesota. I just think that their probably first order of operation is seeing what happens with Kaprizov, and if he for whatever reason doesn't come back, you have an astronomical on what do you have in cap space? You got the $14 million that just came off the books, and then another or was it 9.5 on top of that, and then whoever else is coming off the book. So Minnesota, it'll be interesting to see what direction they head in over the course of the next 18 months.
Bro, and if he's not signing, they can trade away for him and get a haul.
They're just as dead as Edmonton is if McDavid leaves, if Kaprizov ever left. And I mean, how many times do you ever remember an owner coming out and being like, "We will give him anything he wants"? Like, I think that was the quote.
You just handed over all the leverage, sir.
I'm wondering, maybe he would want to wait till McDavid signs to see his number, or would he?
No, I think that it does it. There's so many teams in desperate need of a guy like that if each of those guys wanted the full 20%, they can get it. I think that Philadelphia would pay 20% to Kaprizov in a heartbeat.
I think he's a perfect fit in the New York Rangers.
No, Keith, you know where he's a perfect fit? Toronto, blue and white.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even say that. That's you saying that.
He would fit in perfectly in Toronto.
I thought with Flyers, just because of the Michkov, like imagine having those two lethal Russians playing together. But you just mentioned New York. I mean, Panarin and him. Panarin's probably got, what, 3 years left on his deal?
No, I think he's up next summer. I think he's part of that class next summer.
What?
Yeah.
That was already 8 years?
I don't know,
How
Jimmy, correct
crazy
me.
is that? I know. I saw the Panarin. I was like, Panarin's already up.
What?
I know.
Holy
I know.
fuck.
I know. You know what's
Time flies when you're
interesting?
having fun.
Interesting move. So like the Bowen Byram kind of saga, right? Like, is he gonna get traded?
He's going to be
get
like
signed.
John Gibson. 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about him getting traded at a Buffalo.
Well, the Sabres elected for salary arbitration, right? With Bowen Byram. And Utah did it with Jack McBain. Now, what that does is that doesn't allow them to get offer sheeted, right? So you're basically protecting yourself from another team going out and signing them, but now you got to deal with arbitration, and you got to deal with whatever the arbitrator gives them on a 1 or a 2 year deal. I don't know how it's decided if it's a 1 year deal or a 2 year deal, but I think
They
that
flip a coin. No, I'm
They
serious.
play rock, paper,
Oh,
scissors.
rock, paper, scissors. You're right. Yeah, it's rock.
2 out
They
of 3,
changed it in the
though.
new CBA.
But Whit, if you don't want, like, clearly, I mean, obviously they want him, but like if they don't want him enough to sign him enough, wouldn't you want him to get offer sheeted? Then you can at least get some draft picks or something.
That's a point people have made, but I think Buffalo's like, we don't need any more draft picks. Like, we
True.
need players. So maybe they can end up dealing them. I mean, you can also sign before the arbitration hearing, but Jesus Christ, the arbitration, that's a nightmare. My arbitration hearing would have been, I would have left there crying, like,
No
like
internet.
asking strangers for hugs.
Would have been like the Schaefer interview.
Just pissed, leaving, crying, getting dummied by a 17-year-old. Oh my God.
Heard some horror
Kaner,
stories about
Kaner stayed in Detroit, boys. Kaner was actually at the Barstool office today. I think he was on with the Barstool Chicago show. Big Cat texted me. He said it was amazing. Said they were going down memory lane on those 3 cups and all the legendary moments. But he signs in Detroit, $3 million cap hit. I think he can get another like $4 million in potential bonuses. So Kaner's
40.
staying there. What?
40 million.
Yeah. Dude, I'd give him that. I love that guy. The Canadians acquired Zach Bolduc. The Canadians actually have been buzzing. The Canadians have had a
That's
hell
what
of
we
an
missed as a
offseason.
big winner.
That's a
what
big
we
winner
missed.
we missed. And that's my bad. I forgot it was further down on the outline. But this Bolduc, dude, he's a player, man. He is nice. He's big, strong. Montreal's building something there. They traded Logan Mathew, who spent most of the year in the minors. I think he's had points when he's played a couple NHL games, but nice puck-moving defenseman. I think Army knows what he's doing there, but I think that could be a big win-win for both teams.
Yeah, I think that St. Louis has an abundance of young forwards. So
Yes.
that was maybe why they moved off. I was surprised, but they do have an older decor. And, this Logan Mathew, the stuff in the past is the stuff in the past, but they obviously see a lot of offensive upside, and defensemen who can lug the puck and possess those offensive skills are far and few between. I mean, you saw what Dobson ended up getting with Montreal in that sign and trade, 9.5. So there's a lot of value there, and considering they have so many forwards, you might as well shoot for the fences for a young up and coming defenseman. But I like that Bolduc. I liked him in playoffs. He brought that spark, brought it all season long, and yeah, he's a good young forward.
19 goals as a 22-year-old. It's like, all right, that's.
I just like how Montreal is pushing the chips in the middle, saying we have this young core group who is hitting pretty much on average age, the middle 20s. So they're able to the next few years grow together as they get to their primes. And who knows, maybe this turnaround happens a lot sooner than expected. But it was definitely a building year for them, getting to the playoffs, getting that experience and dipping their toes in. And it should be fun to see what St. Louis can do with this young crew.
I think that them seeing Demidov is like, all right, we can start this even a little earlier. I think next year, I think he's going to be dominant. I think he's going to be a superstar, Kaprizov-like. And they're like, holy shit, we now have like a true franchise, like superstar on our hands. And let's get some more forward help. And yeah, Mathew, like they have Hudson, they just get Dobson. Kind of makes sense, right? Like puck mover that they don't necessarily need. So interesting on that.
Oh, all right, guys. Well, we have some breaking news here. This is from Jordan Smaltz. It sounds like Gavin McKenna will be signing with Penn State sometime this week, maybe even as early as today. He was added to the team group chat last night. Big news in the college hockey scene.
Wow.
Signed
First of all,
Who called this?
Keith, you said this months ago to me.
I thought he was coming to Davenport. That's where I thought he was coming. That's where I was here.
No, you got Schaefer though.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, he's going to sign with
Schaefer's
him.
next. If he doesn't make the team, he's going to Penn State.
How did you know this months ago?
So, a friend of mine, he's a big time donor at Penn State, and I was with him, and just talking about hockey and what guys he needs to get, and when that rule changed that the CHL players can go there, I just gave him a list of names that were big dog name, mostly from G, because I don't know too much.
Get the fuck out of here! He asked you to put a list together.
G, didn't I tell you this?
I swear, yeah. He texted me like months and months ago, being like, "Who are the big dogs? I got this big dog at Penn State." It sounded like you guys had some drinks too. It sounded like you guys had some drinks and you guys were getting after it.
Oh, it was.
How much
it was
does this guy
when
spend
I
on
was
the
at
team?
Augusta.
So what does he donate? Like what type of number?
He has buildings named after him. Let's just say that.
I bet you he got like 500 grand, like, or more. Like,
I don't know.
Dude, that Big Ten money and that school with their football program and that kid, I bet you he got bank.
He's getting the Jesus Shuttlesworth
dude,
tour?
that is so cool for like college hockey that like you have this is literally if Crosby or McDavid, their draft year, had gone to college.
But it's also if they went to like the New York Rangers in a sense. And I know Penn State doesn't have the history, but the alumni network that Penn State has, the marketing dollars that Penn State has, the Big Ten network, they have the ability to get TV deals. There's like 95% of college hockey teams don't have that ability to get on national TV. Penn State can do that.
Every one of their games is going to be on next year on the Big Ten. I'm pumped to watch them.
So he's played 2 years of junior with Medicine Hat, or now 3.
3 years. He played 3
because he played as a double underager, which is like an exemption rule. Now, I feel like obviously this is huge that he can do this. Like, I guess because he hasn't been drafted yet, right? So he wouldn't have been able to go play anywhere else to develop at a higher level, right?
No, even if he was drafted, he could have though.
No, I get it, but I was saying is like he could have went and played in like the AHL, for instance. But now, if he had been drafted, but whereas before you're kind of limited, where now you're kind of stuck at that level. Where what's he going to play a 4th year and put up 300 points? It's almost counterproductive. Where okay, so now he goes off to college, makes that jump, playing against bigger, older guys, and gets to make fucking bank. You think there's a chance he made $1 million?
I bet I don't know about $1 million, but if it was 750, like 700, like
on
bank.
Top of endorsement deals, like are you allowed endorsement deals with all that NIL?
NIL.
You can get one. You can get you can make anything. Now I don't.
So the school will pay him that $1 million or 500.
No, so it's
like
not
boom?
the school, right? G
schools have collectives, so it's like they can only pay players a certain amount. But this money is coming from a donor in like a private fund. Usually they have donor funds, and those donor funds help pay for the students.
Mama's getting the double wide.
I mean,
But
this kid.
It's also too like for his development, like just from I've only seen him play one time, but he looks like a slender kid. Like him going to college, like for his development, he's going to be working out. What do you work out in college with? 4 or 5 times a week?
Oh yeah, and you're like it's games on the weekend, right? You're not grinding. You're Monday through Thursday. You're training, you're practicing. That's awesome for college.
$100 million facility too. That Pagula Ice Arena, he spent $100 million. We went to just about all the top facilities in the country. Pagula is top 3, and with the way they treat their players, these kids are eating filet mignons for lunch.
What?
For lunch, boys.
I got fucking go back.
Hey, guys,
give me the rollerblades.
Goat.
Give me the fucking rollerblades.
I've been to a lot of college campuses too, boys, and I'll just say Penn State unequivocally
how much
has
they giving you, G?
girls. They have the most beautiful girls at
You're making what McKenna's making.
On.
Wow.
Hey, and another thing too, let's say it was $1 million tag. moving forward, they now become a top recruiting school. Not that they maybe were before. Like where were they at?
They had a big year
Changed
this
the
year.
game.
This year, but they've never even, I think Aiden Fink was like that last year was their first NHL draft pick. Like this is monumental.
Okay, wow, all right.
This is changing the state of Penn State hockey forever.
Shocking that, like, if you told me Gavin McKenna was going to college, it's like, oh, he's going to Michigan, you know? Like, and he goes to Penn State. And, oh, man. Now,
any
guys
of
are
you
going to
young,
follow his
talented
step,
players,
too. Like, he's not the last guy that's going to go there. Like, he's the first guy, right? Like, they're going to get, like, other kids.
well,
that are
remember
big
that
names.
D-Man Stoff was talking about that Veerhoff? Was it? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder, like, because he's draft eligible. I wonder if he's going somewhere now. Like,
well, tell
this
that kid if he's interested in Davenport University, I'll give you my 2018 used Jeep Grand Cherokee.
That means
and you
a lot.
can have it. Both fobs, all of it.
How about, Biz, congrats on your new truck.
Yeah,
that's
wagon.
Yeah, that's the only reason I brought
Penn
up my
State
Jeep
bought
Grand
it for
Cherokee.
him.
What's
Penn State gave it to him.
It's funny because the
He's
whole
got a
truck
Joe
bed was-
Paterno statue in the back seat.
Oh my god!
Jesus!
Oh no!
Hey,
I
I'm
was going to
all
say
in
the
on
whole
Penn
truck
State
bed was
hockey.
filled up with sealed up filet mignons, airtight sealed.
Hey, so this basically means if he's doing this, I think moving forward, any CHL kid that's considered like a top 3 pick going to his draft year is going to be going to college.
I'd be shaking in my boots if I was a CHL team right now.
Oh, I know. Well, CHL is going to turn into wow.
It would just be
This
17,
is going to
16,
change. This is
17,
going to
18.
change the CHL college hockey thing.
And you know what? This will make probably the CHL start paying their actual players. Like when I played there,
They don't have the dough, dude.
Oh
Like, they
yeah.
don't- Oh, London does, but I mean, a lot of these teams don't have. Even if they have dough bids, like they could be like, all right, the best player will give $20,000, and then that same kid's talking to Michigan, and they're offering him $600.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the CHL needs donors.
Yeah.
I'm also very interested to see, like, are we gonna is this gonna be, you know, the Eichel, Celebrini, Hobie Baker 75-point freshman year? Like that's what everyone's going to be expecting now.
Gotta
I would be
more,
surprised
right?
if it's not.
We should go to the first game.
Like BU got the kid
whiteout.
Ryder Ritchie's going there. He's a stud for I think
Yeah,
first
let's go
rounder.
to the whiteout.
100%.
We had them in Arizona when we had playoffs 3 years in a row. Not a big deal. East Western Conference Finals. Keep the change.
Oh, this immediately makes Penn State. Now, did they lose a lot from the good team last year?
No, they didn't lose anyone, and they added
Oh,
Jackson
God.
Smith, just got drafted 14th overall by Columbus. They added Coach Godowski, Matt Godowski's son. He's Coach Godowski's son played at Army this past year, was an All-American, huge defenseman. He's coming to Penn State. They got Jackson Smith. I just mentioned him. Like they're loading up. Michael Miza's brother, Luke Miza, he's also going there next season. They're going to be a wagon.
They're going to be better than Buffalo. Pagula's.
Hey, college hockey. Yeah, now it's going to be just that much better. It's just going to be CHL to college hockey. That is now the route. American kids are getting fucked, but college hockey is now the next step after junior. They are no longer, with this news, remotely considered similar.
We should.
I think
offer,
USHL is going to take the biggest beating out of all of it.
Hey, tell your donor buddy and reach out to whoever is paying you your bag from Penn State. Maybe we could broadcast the game.
They have
They got the Big Ten network.
Oh, okay. You can't just hop in there.
No, I don't think.
No,
Hey, we're going to take over every Penn State game this year.
Is there a team that doesn't have a network where we could just do
yeah.
a one-off?
Oh yeah,
Davenport.
there's tons of college teams that don't have TV deals. We could easily do something.
Okay. I mean, we could still
big
offer it
news.
up. We could offer it up to Penn State, do a one-off.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
what are we getting
boots
out of the deal? We're like, G will talk about how hot the girls are at your school again.
I'll talk to Saginaw, North Bay, and I'll talk to some CHL teams that I was Owen Sound, and I'll say whenever your recruits leave, you're going to Penn State. Whenever your guys are making that next step, we're going to be a pipeline to them. That's what I'm going to facilitate in order for us to call one game.
We said it earlier this year, but imagine if Pittsburgh and Philly did the outdoor game at Penn State Stadium. How much more electric that would be now that Gavin McKenna's on campus. The day or two before you have Penn State play against Michigan State as like a lead into the game. That would have been so electric.
Hey, boys, I don't know the exact years, but the Penguins got Lemieux, and about 20 years later, they got Crosby. And about 20 years later, they might be the worst team in the league, and they might fucking get Gavin McKenna. I know I had him on Boston earlier in the show, but now you think he's going to be a Penguin.
He might stay at Penn State if he's getting $1 million a year. He might just stay there forever.
That's true. Van Wilder. It's like 8
Biz
years
at
of taking
Davenport.
yoga. I got 2 credits from
7
Davenport.
times 7, Biz.
I never took math there.
46. No.
I took psychology and English.
Smart. 2 things you're really good at.
What is a verb, Biz?
So I'll never forget. I was when I was in my younger days when I was talking to a female, I bragged about taking psychology, and I said Siegfried and Freud, and then it's a Sigmund Freud is the actual term, and she's like, the magicians?
No, it's not a term. I think it's the guy's name.
Yeah, no, I know. She's like,
yeah, they brought out
I was
the
saying
lion.
when I said Sigmund Freud is the actual term, right? Sigmund Freud is the psychology term.
I think it's his name. I think it was a guy.
Yes. And I said Siegfried and Roy, and she goes, the magicians?
Yeah, Biz is studying
I was like-
psychology with a tiger.
She's like, yeah, I'm leaving.
I award you
Animus.
no points, and we are all dumber from listening.
Here, I'm going to put this drink over the top of your head and throw the cup in your face, and you could fuck off with your magician talk.
Quickly, before we wrap this thing up, Glenn Gulletson was hired by the Dallas Stars. Crazy fact or part of this story is that when Jim Nill came over, one of his first moves was firing him. And so it's like all of a sudden he's back, kind of crazy. But, good for him. He's been in Edmonton. He's done a really good job there as an assistant. So good luck to him. And Biz, the other news that, I don't know, do you know Christian Fisher? He retired.
Yeah.
28
I
years
haven't
old.
had a chance to call him and pick his brain, but there was an article that came out, and I just, I think has maybe lost his love for the game a little bit. And who knows, maybe it's just for a year or two, and then he realizes that he's still got some juice left in the tank. And I just think as his career progressed, he was getting more of a limited role, and he was not all of a sudden in that, third, mostly fourth line slot. And it's hard, man. Like when you're not getting your touches and you're in and out of the lineup and you're not feeling it. Like I went through it personally where I was like legit seeing 2-3 minutes a game. And there were times, Jans, where I would come in and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm sick of bag skating and not getting to actually play and play the game that I fell in love with. So I could see that side of it. I thought that he had more skill than I did, and he had way more upside than I did. I just personally wish that he would have fought more, because I think that that would have added to his bag and make him more desirable. And he's a pretty big, solid guy. So, but hey, man, if it's not in you anymore, it's not in you anymore. You got to go off and be happy and do what you want to do. So I wish him all the best. Great teammate, loved by the boys. Golfs with them all the time. Still here. I think he still hangs around quite a bit in Scottsdale here. So, yeah. Just congrats on a good run, man. I mean, it was still a great run.
Congratulations, Christian Fisher. And I did love seeing Taves in that Winnipeg jersey at the press conference. He's sitting there saying, I don't care. I'll play on the fourth line. I don't give a shit. So you talk about a guy who probably lost his love a little bit, and he's got it back. And that was a cool thing to see him in the Jets jersey in his hometown. So, hey, thank you to Mathew Schaefer. Boys,
we're going to be off for a little bit, guys. Like, even like this pod, you might be like, you didn't know this. I don't give a flying fuck. I'm ready to check out.
We're burnt out a little bit.
We're burnt out. We're burnt out. I'll be going 10 months straight here. We're going to take, I think, 3 pods off. We're going to go best of next week, and then back-to-back weeks where we're just going to kind of tee up a few pods that have back-to-back interviews. We got some great ones banked for you. I'll keep that a secret, but it was a heck of a run, guys. We love you. We appreciate all your support, but we need some rest desperately. I know I do, and I'm ready to check out and go and enjoy and love my life.
And guys, ending with a little good news here. Keep September 25th, 26th, and 27th open because Boston Chiclets Cup, guys. Boston Chiclets Cup.
You better fucking bring your A game, O'Shandle. Yeah, I'm looking at you, you piece of shit. You in that stupid Sea Grill hat. We're going to cook you. We're going to fillet you just like those fishies at Sea Grill, motherfucker.
This is a ridiculous amount.
You got
of
nothing to
shit
say,
talk
bitch?
From
Huh?
somebody who hasn't been able to win his own goddamn tournament.
You want the big deal selects, boy? You're going to get the big deal selects. You're going to get TR and TR Senior. And when you figure out your mic, it ain't going to matter because you're going to have nothing to say. Did you just fart in your mic, Whit?
Peace,
Barely
guys.
picked it up with that shitty Wi-Fi. See you
Love
later,
you guys.
motherfuckers.